Dale Winton and Ricky Tomlinson are joining the girls for lunch today. It's Loose Women here on ITV1 from 1:30. But back to now, and it's Monday morning's GMTV.
Will he resign? Britain's top policeman is accused of secretly taping private phone conversations. Good morning, this is the News Hour on GMTV.
Yes, it's 6 o'clock on Monday the 13th of March 2006.
On the programme this morning, the scandal-prone head of Scotland Yard is ordered to explain himself after his office admitted he secretly recorded a phone conversation with the Attorney-General. Lord Goldsmith is not amused. Neither is the Home Secretary.
Also this hour, what has happened to spring? We're live to Scotland and the north of England. The very latest on the big freeze and how the snow may affect your journey to work this morning. But we move faster than they do.
Exactly. It's two people who set off yesterday. We'd love to see what it's like in your area. If you've got a camera phone, you can send your MMS pictures to the number on the screen.
And after 30:30, the tragic story of a 79-year-old woman who died after spending £36,000 and suffering stress after taking lots and lots of junk mail offers.
But back to the weather. What a cold weekend it was.
Shiver my timbers. We're going to be skiing to work, are we?
Maybe not you, John. I don't think you can ski, can you?
No, I can't, that's true.
Actually, down in the southeast, we're not going to see any snow, so John's OK, can still perhaps travel by car. Further north and west, not the same story. It's going to be cold everywhere today. Watch out for ice as well. We're seeing cloud and rain move in. As it hits the cold air, that's the reason why it's turning so, particularly through today. And that means for the western half of the country, it's going to be pretty horrendous. Windy wherever you are, and you can see that cloud and that rain gradually moving in, turning to snow across much of Scotland, as well as northwest England down towards North Wales. Hanging on to some sunshine across East Anglia as well as the southeast. That's where it's going to remain dry, but it's going to be very cold everywhere. And watch out for those winds. I'll be back in around 25 minutes. Penny.
Claire, thanks. Our top story this morning, Britain's top policeman, Sir Ian Blair, is fighting to keep his job after it was revealed that he secretly recorded a confidential telephone conversation with none other than the Attorney-General, Lord Goldsmith. Rachel Harrison is at New Scotland Yard. Rachel.
Well, this is not the first time that Sir Ian Blair has made the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Britain's top police officer caused outrage when he suggested that he couldn't understand why the Sir murders received so much publicity. Plus, he was also accused of actually covering up the real reason behind the shooting of Jean-Charles de Menzies. And this is the latest scandal affecting the officer, and certainly will affect those closest to him, because he's accused of recording conversations with some of the country's leading people, including the Attorney-General and people from the Police Complaints Commission. Now, in itself, recording a conversation is not illegal if it's for your own use, but it does become an offence when the person you're speaking to doesn't know they're being recorded, and then it can be heard by a third party. Now, currently, Sir Ian Blair is actually away on holiday at the moment, but there are calls for his resignation, and there's no doubt he'll have to face the music when he comes back.
Rachel, thanks very much.
Let's catch up on the rest of the news. Here's Nick.
Thanks, John. Good morning. 2 men are dead and 2 others seriously injured after gangland shootings in Salford. The first took place inside a pub where families were watching football on television. It's believed the 2 gunmen were then chased outside and shot dead. Emma Louise Johnston is at the scene.
Good morning, Nick. Well, as you can see, the streets surrounding the Brass Handles pub here in Salford are still sealed off this morning. But yes, this bar was packed full of people watching Manchester United on television. It's thought 2 men entered the bar and began shooting, but then fled. They were chased outside and shot dead. It's also thought a group of children who were playing football beside the bar saw the 2 men being killed, and at this stage it's thought the shooting is linked to 2 rival gangs from Salford and Manchester. Now, police carried out door-to-door inquiries last night, and that will continue this morning. Officers will also begin examining CCTV footage. Now, the 2 men that were injured inside the bar are being treated in hospital this morning under police guard, and police have asked anyone with any information to contact them. Nick.
Thanks, Emma Louise. Now, winter has returned with a vengeance. Snow and blizzards have hit large parts of Britain, and there's more to come. We've got reporters in 2 badly affected areas. Sue Jameson is in Scotland, and Matt Arnold is in Lancashire. First of all, to Sue in Glasgow. Sue.
Yes, good morning, Nick. Well, I'm at the start of the M74 motorway, which links England and Scotland. The motorway was closed in places yesterday. Hundreds of motorists stranded while the gritters and the snow ploughs went to work to clear it. Now, it is actually working this morning, but having driven around here for a while, there are really bad conditions on the roads and lots of big puddles as well where it's starting to melt because flooding is going to be a problem. Now, planes were equally badly affected. Glasgow Airport closed for much of the day. I eventually got up to Edinburgh and then took a train across. That train was working. Many others weren't, but they should be working today. Just a few schools closed, but of course there could be more snow on the way, and there's warnings about flooding when all this lot melts. Back to you.
OK, thanks, Sue. Well, let's take a look at the situation further south now. Matt Arnold is in Lancashire. Matt.
Good morning to you, Nick. Well, you'd have thought it was Christmas, judging by these two snowmen outside the hotel where we've just woken up this morning. About 3 inches of snow on the ground. It's 0 degrees at the moment. I'm in the forest of Bowland, which is on the western slopes of the Pennines. And because it's facing west, in the northwest of England here, that's why we've got all this snow. And the bad news is, well, it hasn't finished yet. I mean, it is looking very Christmassy here, but the wind is absolutely bitter. The roads are very icy, and they're expecting more snow in the northwest of England here today.
OK, Matt, thanks for that. And Sue in Glasgow. Now, Britain's biggest water company has announced that it'll impose a hosepipe ban from April. The decision by Thames Water, which covers London and the home counties, follows one of the driest periods of weather on record and will affect 8 million customers. It's thought that other water companies will follow suit. Those who break the ban could face fines of up to £1,000. One of southern Argentina's largest glaciers has begun to spectacularly fall apart. Tourists from all over the world vied for vantage points as huge blocks of ice began falling from the Perito Moreno glacier. The collapse, which happens every few years, is expected to continue all week. It's 6:06. Now back to Penny.
Thanks very much, Nick. Let's have a quick look at the front pages of some of the newspapers. That's the front page of The Times, our lead story. Police chief ordered to explain his secret tapes. The Daily Mirror says that an independent body has suggested that rapists should get their jail terms cut and that wife beaters could escape prison. That's under new guidelines. The Sun has that terrible story. Official advice to British victims of terrorism abroad, sue bin Laden. And the Daily Mail, Labour's secret loans for honours. Blair sold peerages allegedly to raise £10 million on the quiet. And the Independent has that front page there, the war dividend. The British companies making a fortune out of conflict-riven Iraq.
Time now 6:07. Well, despite the severe weather over the weekend, it's been a busy time for sporting action on the football field and on the rugby field. We'll bring you the cricket latest in just a tick, but right now here's the Mirror's Martin Lipton to discuss the football first of all. Big game at Old Trafford. Fantastic performance by Wayne Rooney. He got two, but he could have had more, couldn't he?
Well, he gets better and better. It could have been a hat-trick, but he just took them apart, really, even like Newcastle have had recently, but he can fall apart quite quickly as well. Exactly.
Similarities at Highbury yesterday, the last encounter between them and their opponents, and of course
fantastic
play. Charlton played Middlesbrough. The real tension was on the managers, not the action. That's Mr McLaren and Mr Kirbishley, both of whom are now in line for the England job. Do you think either of them are in with a chance?
I don't think so now. I have to say, I don't think McLaren ever really was, and I don't think Kirbishley's done himself any favours with his reaction. He's almost sort of thrown the toys out there, you know, oh dear, people are watching me, it's terrible, why? Hang on, if you want to be the England manager, that's nothing. I mean, you're going to be, everything you do will be scrutinised over and over and over again. If you get wound up by a meeting, which everyone knew was going to take place anyhow, being leaked, then what chance have you got when the pressure really gets on?
Bigger question, what's happened to our English rugby team, Martin?
Well, I would suggest they don't go to dodgy fish restaurants on the Champs-Elysees.
Yeah, 5 of them out. Was it 4 or 5 of them
but, I mean, it was
seafood the night
it was a disaster, wasn't it? They were obliterated from the first minute, never got into the game, sloppy tries. It's all fallen apart. They went to Mayfield, you know, a couple of weeks ago, everyone thinking, like, Grand Slam, build up for the World Cup, and suddenly we're looking as if it start all over again, which is not good news for Robinson at all, and it's getting quite close, that World Cup. It's 18 months away only now.
Sure is. Martin, good to see you. Thanks very much indeed for coming. Cricket fans, let me tell you, England all out of 180, need India need 144 to win. Looks like we might lose that one. Martin, thank you.
Time is 11 minutes past 6. A landmark legal challenge starts today in the House of Lords to limit compensation payouts for asbestos-related cancers. Employers hope to overturn existing law by stating that the cost of compensating mesothelioma sufferers should be split between companies if an employee was exposed at more than one workplace. Those affected say the ruling could make it much more difficult to win compensation. Well, Anthony Coombs, a solicitor representing some of the victims of asbestos, is in our Manchester studio. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So what happens at the moment to those who have asbestos-related cancer?
At the moment, they are compensated in full if they can sue any employer who has made a material contribution to the risk that they would develop the disease.
Right. So in the future, what do the companies want to happen?
They want to reduce the compensation payable to victims if some of the employers have gone out of business and it's no longer possible to sue them. We think this would be wrong because even though the employers have gone, the insurers who stood behind those employers are still there, but they can't be found. And secondly, that compensation for this disease is already pitifully low. It's typically in the bracket £100,000 to £150,000 for a painful disease lasting 18 months or 2 years. And to reduce it below that level would be completely wrong.
So how many people are we talking about? How many people are affected?
1,800 a year at the moment in the UK. It's going up, and it will go up to about 2,500 a year within the next 10 years, and then it will gradually fall away.
So just explain then. So it's the companies. So if there's more than one company, then at the moment all the insurance companies actually club together, as it were, do they? They all pay a section, and in the future they just want it to be one insurance company. Is that how they want it to work?
Not exactly. At the moment, any one company or combination of companies who are still around and can be sued, each one of them is fully liable. They want the law changed from the way it's always been, so that each one of them is only liable for a portion of the compensation, and if some of them are no longer around, then the victim will get a lot less. The effect of this will be, in some cases, the victim will get next to nothing if you take into account government benefits. And this is only one problem that mesothelioma victims face. There's no research going on into this disease. At Bart's Hospital in London, they're desperate for money. And also, the NHS is not paying for the best sort of chemotherapy, a drug called Alimta, and people are not getting the treatment they need. And another bad thing that's happening is that the government is paying benefits for this disease with one hand and taking them away with another hand. So this threat to compensation is just one of several problems that mesothelioma victims are facing.
We have to leave it there. Thank you very much for talking to us this morning. Anthony Coombs talking to us from Manchester.
Time now 40 minutes past 6. You're watching the News Hour on GMTV. These are the headlines you're waking up to this morning. Britain's top policeman, Sir Ian Blair, is fighting for his job after it was revealed he secretly taped a telephone conversation with the government's top legal advisor.
Investigations are continuing into a gangland shooting in Salford, which left 2 dead and 2 in hospital.
And winter has returned to large parts of Britain, causing problems for travellers, and there's more to come. Now then, overnight, the Queen and Prince Philip have been officially welcomed to Australia. Her Majesty is in the country to open the Commonwealth Games, but officials say that despite her age, this is not a farewell tour of Australia. Our chief correspondent, Richard Gaisford, is in Sydney, monitoring events. Richard, very good morning to you. Traditional welcome, I gather, for the Queen. No sign of the very strong Republican movement out on the streets overnight.
No, I think it does appear, John, that the Republican movement really isn't very strong at all, or it's not being talked about in the same way that it was just a few years ago. It has to be said, a small number of people to greet the Queen in Canberra yesterday when she arrived, just a couple of hundred of the die-hard monarchists and the expats from Canberra there just to get a close-up view of her. Very different to 1954, when the Queen first arrived here as a young, glamorous new monarch. Then 3/4 of the population turned out to line the streets and wave the flags and see her. A very different scene here today in Sydney. Take a look behind me, you can see the Opera House there on the waterfront. The Queen came here in 1973 to open that. She was back again there today. They've done a bit of development and opened up one side of it so you can get much better views from inside of the harbour and the bridge behind me. Quite a few people down there, a good few thousand people on the steps. Has to be said, a lot of them were bemused tourists who'd been given flags to wave, weren't quite sure what was going on, but there was a good smattering of elderly monarchists there as well, and a number of young mums out with their children, quite honestly, because they said they wanted to get out of the house and come and see the Queen and see what was going on. This is what they had to say.
He's never seen the Queen before, and he wants to see our Queen. He thinks she looks like Grandma.
His father's English and his grandfather's Scottish, so his dad thought it'd be nice for him to see the Queen while she's in Australia.
She was very small and yeah, she's nice.
Did you see the Queen?
No, saw the car, but I didn't see her.
Why was it important that you came, and did it have any relevance that you wanted to bring the children?
Oh, I was hoping that they'd see her. I just think it's nice. Because I'm from the UK, but I now live in Australia, so I still like the Queen.
Oh, I think it's an important occasion. The Queen is our Queen as well. She's a wonderful person.
And it might be the last time she comes to Australia, so who knows.
So no gaffes in etiquette, Richard, this time around, as occurred on a previous occasion.
That's right, you're thinking about Paul Keating, aren't you, when he slipped his arm just round the Queen's waist to move her along. No, nothing like that. John Howard, the PM here now, who's currently just been in office for nearly 10 years, he is much less hands-on with the Queen, and he's pleased to see her here, though, to open the Commonwealth Games. He's a big sports fan himself. He'll be spending most of the fortnight based in Melbourne, the Queen there for the opening ceremony. But that hasn't been without controversy, John. They've been talking there about how much of the national anthem, the British national anthem, is actually going to be played. There was talk that none of it would be played, then some of it, and if not all of it. They've come to some sort of compromise. I think everyone's happy. We'll see on Wednesday.
Well, indeed. Richard, Tammy, thanks very much indeed.
It's an awfully dirgy national anthem, our national anthem, isn't it? Such a shame when you hear the nice French one and you think, oh, it'd be that's quite a nice rousing one.
You can answer your own letters on that one, Penny. I suspect one or two people may not agree.
What, that it's dirgy?
Mm.
I'm not saying that you don't necessarily support it, I'm just saying it sounds a bit gloomy. Still to come on the news hour, the latest on the big freeze from our correspondents around the country. Claire will have a full 5-day weather forecast for you.
And just why did actor Clive Owen turn down the role of 007? We're live from New York in just a few moments to find out.
On GMTV now, we heard from new James Bond actor Daniel Craig on Friday. Now the man who turned the part down has been talking to GMTV about why he feels sorry for the new Bond. Cordelia Kretschmer is in New York for us this morning. See, you get to hang out with the gorgeous Mr. Rowan, Cordelia.
Not bad, is it? No, he's got this kind of brooding, dangerous image, so I was expecting a man of very few words. But actually, when we met up with him yesterday at a hotel here in New York City, he was telling us all kinds of things. You remember he was in the running a while back for the role of James Bond, but then in the end it went to Daniel Craig, so I asked him what that was all about. He said he never even wanted the role, and he doesn't regret not taking it.
I deliberately put myself out of the frame. I made myself unavailable. I took a slate of films, which I'm still in the middle of now, and they're all completely different, varied, but all with really fantastic people, and I couldn't be happier doing what I'm doing.
Could have been a smart choice, because Daniel Craig, as we know, getting all kinds of flack from die-hard fans about the fact that he's blonde. Clive Owen said he sympathises.
Daniel Craig's a really great actor. I think he's having a little bit of a tough time, I think, at the moment, and I think it will all go away when the movie comes out, because he's a really, really great actor, so I'm sure he'll shut them all up soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Stars lining up to be in Bond, though. Jodie Foster, for example.
It seems so, yeah. Blonde or not, that Bond buzz is really getting going, and it seems to be pretty contagious. So I asked Jodie Foster if she fancied the role of Bond girl.
It's funny. I don't think anyone cares to see me as Bond girl. Maybe a Bond villain. You see, maybe that's in my future, a Bond villain.
So you spent the entire time talking to them both about Bond when they were actually trying to promote their new film?
Bit naughty, yeah, so I think I should probably mention that the reason they were in New York was to promote the new film Inside Man. It's a kind of a traditional bank heist film with a twist. Clive Owen's in it, Jodie Foster's in it, and so's Denzel Washington. Have a look at this.
Recently, I planned and set in motion events to execute the perfect bank robbery.
Everybody get down on the floor now!
Why? Because I can.
Clive, I think you might have cracked America.
Really?
Did you ever have this kind of a eureka moment where you thought, I've done it?
No, I mean, I'm having the most fantastic time and have been for a little while now. And but no, I never think that. I just think that this is what I've always wanted. I'm hugely grateful. I've had some very fortunate breaks, and this, you know, if it just carries on like this, I don't need more than this.
I should say so.
You're not going to tell me how you're planning to get out of here, are you?
I'm gonna walk right out the front door. Anything else?
He plays a guy behind a mask that you never see. So you almost never see his eyes, you never see his face, and he really, you really get a sense of who he is, and yet he really keeps that mystery. I think that's something about Clive on screen, is that he's quite mysterious. The funny thing is that in life, he's nothing like that. He's funny and chatty, and he's always drumming his fingers and tapping his toes. He's very kind of like ticky, you know, and goofy.
The most amazing array of leading ladies you've worked with recently. Jodie Foster, Julia Roberts, Jennifer Aniston, all the J's, I suppose. Tell us who was the best kisser.
They were all lovely.
And he didn't seem at all ticky or goofy.
No, but a lot more chatty than you would have thought. You know, in these films, he's such a mysterious one, but he is a real charmer, I can tell you. And he puts James Bond in the shade in that way. A little less smooth than James Bond. He's quite nice and rough around the edges. It works for me, anyway.
Yes. Cordelia doing a little one of her little laughs there. Yeah. Oh, and a hair flick. Any minute now she'll be doing that. Thanks, Cordelia. Oh, I think she quite liked Clive Owen there.
Do we think she might be smitten?
I think she might be a little, yes. Yes, look, she's still, look, she's even getting pink around the ears.
She's affecting embarrassment from New York. See you soon. Competition time now. This week we're sending Cheggers out on the road with his chequebook.
Yeah, if you fancy being £10,000 richer, here's what you need to do.
Well, hey! £10,000 could be yours with today's competition. That's right, GMTV is giving away £10,000. So for your chance to get your hands on the cash, all you have to do is answer this question. Singer Tom Jones and Charlotte Church are from which country? A, Wales, B, Scotland, or C, England? That's the question, and this is how you enter.
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149. Or you can enter via the website.
Lines close at 9, so get dialing, and if you're lucky, Cheggers could be on your doorstep tomorrow.
If you call that lucky. Yeah.
Well, the £10,000 he's carrying is very lucky.
Indeed. Let's find out about the all-important weather this morning. Here's Claire.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello, good morning. Well, if you're waking up in Glasgow, you'll be waking up to a scene like this morning. So horrendous conditions yesterday into last night. Now it's eased a little bit, but there's a lot of snow lying on the ground, freezing conditions, and we are expecting some more snow later as the cloud and the rain moves in from the west and gradually turns to snow as it hits the colder ground. In fact, over the next few days, it's going to remain cold as the wind eventually comes in from an easterly direction, and right the way through to Friday we could see 1 or 2 sleet or snow showers. As we head up the country, you can see not a lot going on this morning. We are seeing 1 or 2 bits of showery rain coming in from the west, and in fact it really will pick up some momentum as we head through this morning into this afternoon, gradually moving across Ireland and then eventually reaching western areas of Scotland. Watch out this morning though for ice. The Met Office has issued warnings, particularly for Lancashire, for a lot of ice on the roads, but in fact wherever you are this morning it is sub-zero. Away from the south and east, where skies will remain dry over the last few days, but here this is where the worst conditions are and will continue to be over the next 24 hours or so as this band of cloud and rain gradually moves its way southeastwards. It'll be a slow process, mainly tonight, and as I said, as it hits the cold air, it will turn to snow across many parts of Scotland, as well as northern England and North Wales. So this is the picture this afternoon for Scotland. You can see where the rain's moving in, hitting that colder air coming in from the east, and you can see some pretty awful conditions, snow, as well as perhaps some blizzards over the higher ground with the strong winds. It will eventually move its way southeastwards, but for today and into tonight, watch out, there will be some snow around and more to come, poor visibility as well. For Northern Ireland, well, it's mostly rain here, and you can see temperatures are very different to the temperatures elsewhere, 10 degrees Celsius or 50 Fahrenheit. Snow showers then moving down slowly across the northern counties of England. Wales seeing that rain but snow over the higher ground, and then Midlands, East Anglia, the southeast, central southern England, that's where it will remain dry and fine with some sunshine. Wrap up warm though. Breezy day here, temperatures only up to around 10 Celsius. The rain then moves across to the West Country, eventually reaching these parts. And then let's have a quick look tonight. You can see where that snow is. Anywhere from Scotland down towards Wales there. Here's your summary. For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
And if you have one of those devilishly clever little phones that also take pictures, do send us the snaps of the weather conditions where you live. Number, of course, on the screen there. We'll keep it up, quite a long one, we'll keep it up for a few seconds.
Time is 6:28. Good morning. It's Monday, the 13th of March.
Yes, you're watching the News Hour here on GMTV, and in the next half hour, as funeral plans are finalised for Slobodan Milosevic, we ask why some people are mourning the death of the man who was called the Butcher of the Balkans.
And the tragic story of the pensioner who parted with more than £30,000 on scam offers through her letterbox, finding out what you can do to protect yourself.
But our top story this morning, in Britain's top policeman, Sir Ian Blair, is fighting to keep his job after it was revealed he secretly recorded a confidential telephone conversation with none other than the Attorney General, Lord Goldsmith. Rachel Harrison is at New Scotland Yard.
Yes, good morning. Well, this is not the first time that Sir Ian Blair has made the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Britain's top police officer caused outrage when he suggested that he couldn't understand why the Sir murders received so much publicity. Plus, he was also accused of actually covering up the real reason behind the shooting of Jean-Charles de Menzies. And this is the latest scandal affecting the officer, and certainly will affect those closest to him, because he's accused of recording conversations with some of the country's leading people, including the Attorney General and people from the Police Complaints Commission. Now, in itself, recording a conversation is not illegal if it's for your own use, but it does become an offence when the person you're speaking to doesn't know they're being recorded, and then it can be heard by a third party. Now, currently, Sir Ian Blair is actually away on holiday at the moment, but there are calls for his resignation, and there's no doubt he'll have to face the music when he comes back.
Rachel Harrison reporting there.
Now let's get this morning's other top news stories from Nick.
Thanks, Penny. Good morning. 2 men are dead and 2 others seriously injured after gangland shootings in Salford. The first took place inside a pub where families were watching football on television. It's believed the 2 gunmen were then chased outside and shot dead. Emma Louise Johnston is at the scene. Morning, Emma Louise.
Good morning, Nick. Well, the streets surrounding the Brass Handles pub here in Salford are still sealed off this morning. But yes, this bar was packed full of people watching Manchester United on television yesterday. It's thought 2 men entered the bar and began shooting, but then fled. They were chased outside and shot dead. Now, it's believed a group of children who were playing football beside the bar saw the 2 men being killed. Now, at this stage, it's thought the shooting is linked to 2 rival gangs from Salford and Manchester. But dozens of police officers carried out door-to-door inquiries last night, and these will continue this morning. Officers will continue to examine CCTV footage. Now, the 2 men who were injured inside the bar are being treated in hospital this morning under police guard, and police have asked anyone with any information to contact them. Nick.
Thanks, Emma Louise. Winter has returned with a vengeance. Snow and blizzards have hit large parts of Britain, and there's more to come. Here's Sue Jameson in Glasgow. Sue.
Yes, good morning. Well, I'm at the start of the M74, which links England and Scotland. Now, yesterday, section of this road was closed. It caused a lot of disruption. Thousands of drivers in the end caught up with it as the gritters and the snow clearers went to work. Many people had very delayed journeys. The road is open now. Conditions still extremely difficult and dangerous, as they are in other parts of the country, in Lancashire, for example, also in Wales. And there is a road closure in Cumbria. The A595 at Ravenglass is closed. Now, the trains yesterday were also bad. The planes were the worst affected. Glasgow Airport was closed for much of the day. I eventually got to Edinburgh Airport and then had to take a train across. Other train services were badly affected, but they are going to be working today. There are a few schools as well that are closed just in Clackmannanshire, but there's more on the way, and there are fears that a lot of this is going to melt, leading to flooding. So it's not going to be great weather this week up here and in other parts of the country. OK, thanks, Sue. Preliminary results of a post-mortem examination on the former Yugoslav leader Slobodan Milosevic showed that he died of a heart attack. Mr. Milosevic was found dead in his cell in The Hague, where he was on trial for war crimes. A toxicology report is still to be completed amid allegations he may have died of poisoning. His body is being returned to his family today. 40 people have been killed in coordinated car bomb attacks in Baghdad. 92 people were also injured in the near-simultaneous blasts in 2 markets in the Shiite district of Sarda city. Iraqi officials say up to 6 cars exploded in quick succession in the area. Britain's biggest water company has announced that it'll impose a hosepipe ban from April. The decision by Thames Water, which covers London and the home counties, follows one of the driest periods of weather on record and will affect 8 million customers. It's thought that other water companies will follow suit. Those who break the ban could face fines of up to £1,000. One of southern Argentina's largest glaciers has begun to spectacularly fall apart. Tourists from all over the world vied for vantage points as huge blocks of ice began falling from the Periti Moreno glacier. The collapse, which happens every few years, is expected to continue all week. And that's it. It's 6:33. Here's what's happening where you are.
Good morning and welcome to the breakfast news from ITV Granada. Police have launched a murder inquiry after 2 people were killed and 2 others injured in a shooting in a pub in Greater Manchester. Officers were called to the Brass Handles on Fitzwarren Street in Salford yesterday afternoon following reports of gunshots. The pub remains cordoned off this morning and officers are continuing their inquiries.
Certainly an incident as serious as this is very rare, certainly in Salford and across Greater Manchester. What we have got is we've got extra police resources in the area throughout the rest of the course of the evening and night to provide a bit of extra reassurance. We've got detectives at the scene and scenes of crimes officers who are examining the scene, and we will be conducting some house-to-house inquiries to ascertain if anybody has seen anything.
Campaigners from across the northwest are waiting to see if the House of Lords will cut payouts for victims of asbestos. Stephen Buckley was diagnosed with terminal cancer caused by asbestos 2 years ago. He thinks he got it from stripping down boilers as a young apprentice. Compensation from his former employers would take care of his wife when he dies. But he's now worried today's ruling could go against people like him.
I want Angela to be looked after when I'm gone. Nobody wants it. If you give me a cure tomorrow, you can have every penny of the compensation. We don't want it. But if I'm going to die, which it looks like, we need to know that things are going to be all right.
Hundreds of pupils at a Merseyside school are to be vaccinated after an outbreak of hepatitis A. Youngsters at Lander Road Primary in Litherland will today be offered vaccinations during a special visit from health workers. 9 people in the Bootle area, including 4 children from the school, were treated after contracting the liver virus. All have now made a full recovery. 2 letters penned by a teenage David Beckham are expected to reach thousands of pounds when they go under the hammer in Cheshire later. The papers, which were written to a friend within days of the 16-year-old signing for Manchester United, mention how much he was enjoying his new lifestyle. The talented youngster also refers to his first wage packet of just £120. The letters will be up for grabs at a Chester auction house this morning. That's it for now. Now let's take a look at the weather.
Take a deep breath.
and shout down the weather.
Is that the best you can do? Yesterday's snow and ground frost should die out to form a cloudy but mostly dry day, with rain spreading from the west as the day progresses. There's a chance of some snow over the hills today, with highs of around 4 degrees Celsius.
6:36 the time. Let's quick look at the morning papers. The Daily Record, north of the border, quite properly leading on the biggest story for them at the weekend. That was the snow, the worst blizzard for 50 years. 3,000 people trapped in the capital city there. Sorry, in Glasgow, not in the capital city. Daily Telegraph also has a weather picture of this motorist in Largs looking out through her window, saying there's more on the way, which there is. And they also feature the Labour MP's fury over loans for peerages, which is a splash in the Daily Mail this morning. The Sun has an astonishing story claiming that British tourists who were maimed in terrorist attacks abroad have been refused compensation by our government and told to sue Osama bin Laden. How you sue Osama bin Laden, I don't know, but I'm sure if you read The Sun long enough, you'll find out. Rapists to get jail terms cut is the splash in the Mirror this morning. Rapists jail terms cut by up to 15% under new guidelines. And finally, The Times, the story we're leading on this morning, the plight of the Metropolitan Commissioner, who apparently has been taking conversations with, amongst others, the Attorney General.
Time is 6:38. The body of former Yugoslav President Slobodan Milosevic will be released to his family today amid allegations that he may have died from poison. Last night, Dutch pathologists carried out an 8-hour post-mortem examination with preliminary results showing that there was no foul play.
According to the pathologists, Slobodan Milosevic's cause of death was a myocardial infarction. Further, the pathologists identified 2 heart conditions that Slobodan Milosevic suffered from, which they said would explain the myocardial infarction.
Well, joining me now is Professor James Gowan, expert on the Balkans War at King's College London. Good morning to you. I think many people would have been shocked to see anybody laying flowers and lighting candles to mourn the death of a man who was nicknamed the Butcher of the Balkans.
Oh, I think there's always going to be somebody who has a loyalty to people of the type that Milosevic was. He didn't get there without being popular to somebody, and there's still a sizable proportion, a minority, but a sizable proportion of the Serbian population which has loyalty to his party.
What do you think his legacy was?
Oh, his legacy undoubtedly is going to be the record of atrocity and war crimes that marked the war that went with the breakup of Yugoslavia. He was significant in engineering that breakup, but the real thing was the war and the ethnic cleansing, this forcible deportation of people, the mass murder, the rape, which went with it. And whilst he wouldn't have been convicted of all the charges in The Hague, there's no doubt that he was responsible for all of that.
His body is to be released to his family today. Where do you think he'll be buried?
Well, I think that's going to be an amazingly difficult question. I don't think anybody in Serbia really wants his body to go back there, and I don't think his family will feel comfortable in going back there. Of course, his wife, Mira Markovic, is in exile in Russia at the moment because she faces criminal charges in Serbia itself. And with her son as well, and other parts of the family. His brother's also there. So I think it's quite likely that he might go to Russia. Russia is big enough to withstand the difficulties that this could raise, but at the same time, I'm not sure the Russian authorities would be too comfortable about it either.
I suppose the big question now is what happens to his henchmen who still haven't been brought to justice. We've got Mladic and Karadzic.
Well, I think the real question is what's going to happen with Mladic. Karadzic, of course, is a big, prominent figure, but if there's anybody who was really responsible for those war crimes and the things that happened, it was Ratko Mladic. The Milosevic trial had become a bit of a farce. It was going in all kinds of wrong directions. The prosecutor might have been saved by this happening, and Mladic is going to be the chance to prove the real virtue of the tribunal and to make justice be rendered.
So you think there will have been lessons learnt from this particular trial?
Oh, I should certainly hope so.
Professor James Gow, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thank you.
OK, the time now is 6:41. I have to bring you, I'm afraid, a terrible tale of how an elderly woman was so tormented by junk mail scams that her family claims, anyway, she was driven to her death. Lynn Lazenby spent an astonishing £36,000 plunging into her massive debt after false promises of a turnaround in your fortunes by the people who operate those junk mail businesses and others. Jackie Kabler is in Plymouth with more on this story. Jackie, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Yeah, junk mail, John, is a £1 billion a year business in Britain, and we all get junk mail from time to time. But it does appear that if you answer one of them, you end up on what is horribly called a suckers list, and then you get more and more and more. And that is what happened to Lillian. At 79, in a period of less than a year, she got more than 10,000 letters, and here are just some of them here. In November, just 10 or 11 months after this started, Lillian died of a stroke, and her family are convinced it was because of the stress of what she had to go through. And she did, as you said, spent £36,000 on replying to these, and of course never got any of the prizes she was promised. Let me just talk you through some of these letters, because they were just horrible. This one. The confirmed amount you're going to win is £35,000, as long as you send us a £20 payment fee and answer this very complicated sum. 10 plus 25, that was what she had to do. This one, she was promised a dream holiday if she sent £14.95, and so it goes on. In a period of just one day, on the 27th of May, she made 24 payments to these companies. Eventually, she started writing on these letters, ran out of money. £30 needed, no money to send. And in this heartbreaking letter to one of the companies, she wrote, "At the moment I am struggling, so that's why I'm writing this letter. I have no ready cash at all." Now, Lillian is now dead. Her family convinced that these letters led her to her death, John.
Jackie, thanks very much, dear. What a disturbing story. Well, we're joined now by Mike Hale. He's a sort of scam buster from the Office of Fair Trading. We'll get some advice from you in just a tick. But first of all, Mike, clearly, as we all know, this is a massive business, isn't it?
It is, and although this is a very sad and tragic story, unfortunately, I'm no longer shocked or surprised because I hear about these type of things every week. And it is big business. 10,000 letters, over 200 different prize mailings, notifications that we're monitoring at this very moment in time.
Yeah.
And it's big business because there has to be someone to deliver them, someone who prints them, publishes them, clears those checks, and there's lots of people who are in this chain of value taking money from people. Well, let's just go back to the West Country now if we can. Let's talk to Lillian's niece, Tracy Evans, who joined us. Tracy, good morning to you. Thanks very much indeed for being with us. I presume I'm right in saying that you and the rest of the family had absolutely no idea about the extent of her involvement in all this.
No, we didn't, not at all. It wasn't until a few days after she died that I found all the letters that you've seen hidden away in her bedroom, in boxes under the bed, under mattresses, in cupboards. Yeah, it was just unbelievable.
Have you any idea why she went on this course? I mean, was she, I don't want to say the word greedy, but was she an adventurous lady when it comes to finances?
No, not at all, not at all. She was a pensioner with my mum, lived together for 25 years. They were quite happy, quite comfortable, and we've got no idea why this happened, apart from the letters really promised that she'd won money, and she really believed it.
And do you think that the stress when she realised how much she was in debt, because she spent not just her own life savings, she spent £15,000 that she didn't even have, the stress of that at least contributed to her death?
Definitely. My aunt was a very, very happy, lovely 79-year-old lady. Not 79 in her head. She was just so much fun and lovely. And it completely changed her over a course of a few months. And then, obviously, she had this massive stroke and died 3 days later.
It's a sort of separate issue, but have you any idea how she got hold of £15,000 that wasn't hers? I mean, who lent her that money in those circumstances?
Well, there's certain companies, I'm not really sure whether I'm allowed to say, but yeah, she was given the money. We don't really know why, but she was given the money.
Seems to me, from looking at it from afar, they've got as much to answer for as some of these junk mail companies, frankly, Mike, but that's perhaps another story.
Well, I do think there is an issue about responsible lending and for companies who do advance loans to people to find out what their reasons for and that they have the means to repay them. So I think that it is part of the story. But what this whole issue shows is that there are many people who are using these mailings to extract money from mainly elderly and vulnerable people by using claims to authority. It seems like it's coming from the official source and that it's only a small amount to pay for their guaranteed win.
Sure, and it's a con, it's a scam. We know
Absolutely.
that. They're 100% crooks, these people, right? Now, you know, you come from the Office of Fair Trading. Can't you do more? You can injunct these companies. Why can't you put more of these people out of business?
Well, I think one of them that we saw there I recognise, and that some people behind that are in South America. They do hide behind borders in different countries, but there are people in the UK who facilitate this, and we are going after those people.
You mean the people who print the stuff, the material, the people who distribute their material? Because they must know what they're doing too. Well, why shouldn't they be held legally responsible? Just like a lorry driver is held responsible for illegal immigrants he's got in the back of his truck, some would say unfairly, but that's the law. Why aren't these people held responsible for what they do?
Well, they certainly have a moral duty to look at what they're disseminating, what they're involved in, but they can be involved in the dissemination of a misleading advertisement, and that is against the law. But we are going after them. In fact, just today we're bringing together a task force which is going to take some quite strict action, looking at criminal charges against those who are behind these. But there are so many of them. They do hide behind borders. It's hard just to always go investigating them. We're doing our best, but the main thing is to try and look out for elderly relatives. Are they getting hundreds of letters from exotic locations? Are they being secretive? And really and truly, we might go to an elderly relative and make sure that their doors are secure, but thieves can get through that post box and get through down your telephone as well.
So be on your guard and do what you can to protect people from others. People need protecting from themselves, unfortunately. But anyway, thanks very much indeed for being with us, Mike. Thanks very much to you, Tracy, down in Plymouth. And
thank you.
Thank you for bringing this to the attention of people. I'm sure it'll do a lot of good. Thank you.
Time is 30 minutes to 7. You're watching the News Hour on GMTV. This morning's headlines. Britain's top policeman, Sir Ian Blair, is fighting for his job after it was revealed that he secretly taped a telephone conversation with the government's top legal advisor.
Investigations continue into a gangland shooting in Salford, which left 2 people dead and 2 in hospital.
And winter has returned to large parts of Britain, causing problems for travellers, and there's a warning of more to come. Now, just before Christmas, we featured a story that was a true testament to friendship, the gift of life. Saroj Sharma had to endure 10 hours of dialysis a day until her best friend Dorothy decided to give one of her kidneys. We spoke to them 3 days before the operation.
12 months ago, I decided myself to take it forward and go and see if I could indeed give a kidney. And we matched, and we're a good match, which is incredible. And I'm very happy to do what I'm doing.
It was just fantastic. I just haven't got the words to say. It was like humanity, you know, it's a wonderful gift from humanity from my friend Dot. That there's so many good people still around in the world, and Dot is one of them.
And I'm pleased to say that the transplant was a success, and Dorothy and Saroj joined me this morning from Telford. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Morning. So, Saroj, first of all, how are you feeling?
Not too bad today. I take each day as it comes. Every day is different for me due to the medication I'm on. But the transplant itself has been successful. It's wonderful to have this gift of life, thanks to Dorothy here. But to say, each day at a time I take.
So just tell me how life has changed for you since the operation.
Life has changed due to the fact that I'm not dialysing. I haven't dialysed since the 17th of December, so that's fantastic. 3 months of no dialysis. I'm not restricted to a machine. I can stay up as long as I want. I can go where I want, take my pill box with me. There's changes, physical changes happen to me. The downside is that I'm on a lot of tablets and it's taking a while to adjust. But the positive is that I'm not on a machine anymore, so life's great in that sense.
Yes, and the pill box, presumably that's because you're going to have to keep taking pills to actually stop you rejecting the kidney.
That's right. It's over in the kitchen at the moment. I've got it ready for 8 o'clock. But I do need to take anti-rejection tablets and steroids, hence the weight that I've put on since last time you saw me, Penny.
OK, right. Well, let's talk to Dorothy, because you did give an amazing gift to your friend, didn't you? And you were in hospital over Christmas. How was it?
It was what I thought it would be. It feels now like it never happened to me. And some people have said, do you keep thinking that Saroj is your kidney? And I've never thought that. It doesn't feel any different to me at all. And I'm recovering really well.
Are you? I was just going to ask you about any after effects from the operation.
No. I mean, like initially, you know, you have to give yourself a couple of weeks to get back on this planet. But other than that, I just get stronger every day.
Yeah, and I know you've had
to go back to work.
Yeah. And I know you've had to take about 3. It's been about 3 months that you've taken off, isn't it? For
yes,
work.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Saroj, very important. You want to raise awareness that as Afro-Caribbean and Asians are 4 times more likely to have kidney disease. You actually want to make a plea today, don't you, to people out there?
Yes, I do, and it's very important that this is the reason why we're on television, to raise this awareness that people come forward and take the donor card if they want to, and possibly come forward to see if they match, if they've got a friend or relative who possibly need a kidney. As you can see today, we are still live and kicking, and it's successful, and it has happened, and we want to raise this awareness that we're still here today after doing what we have done, and more people should come forward, particularly for Asian and Africa-Caribbean, where there's a shortage of donations.
And raise no barrier to organ donation. Well, thank you very much to Saroj and Dorothy. Thank you very much. Your inspiration. Thank you.
Yes, great news. Great news too, by the way, folks, for Kate Garraway, who on Friday gave birth to a little baby girl called Darcy.
Yes.
Well done, Kate.
Darcy Draper.
And Derek.
Yeah. That's it from the news. Our Fiona and Andrew next with GMTV Today.
But before that, full weather update from Claire.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello, good morning. Well, the wintry weather has returned with a vengeance last night and today, and it's going to continue at least for the next 24 hours. In fact, it's going to remain cold until at least Friday. Heading onto the clouds, you see a lot of cloud covering the country away from the southeast, where we are seeing some sunshine this morning, and we're seeing the next batch of shower rain just slowly now moving in across Ireland, eventually reaching Scotland through this morning into this afternoon. And as the rain gradually moves across this country, we can see it's going to turn to snow, and that's because the air over Britain at the moment, it's so cold. And now the Met Office has issued warnings for ice, particularly across Lancashire, but anywhere really this morning, particularly across this segment here, we will be seeing some wintry conditions on the roads, and this batch of cloud and rain will slowly move in, and over the next 24 hours will move its way southeastwards, and that means many of us will be seeing some snow. So that's away from Ireland, Northern Ireland, as well as the West Country and West Wales. This is the picture this afternoon across Scotland. You can see where the cloud and the rain is hitting that cold air. That means turning to snow across many parts of Scotland, central Scotland, eventually reaching more southern areas. And for the northern counties of England, again, it's going to be a wintry day here. Northern Ireland seeing outbreaks of rain and temperatures only up to 10 Celsius, so much better here. Down towards the Midlands, it's going to be fine and dry and bright, although cloud and rain, very breezy for Wales, and that rain turning to snow over the higher ground as it heads its way southeastwards. Now for East Anglia, the southeast, as well as southern parts of England, it's going to be a dry afternoon. Thickening cloud later on, though, much later on into this evening and overnight. And we're seeing some rain there across for the West Country. Perhaps later on we could see a bit of sleet and snow over the moors. This is the picture for tonight. You can see where the cloud and the rain turning to snow will be. Anywhere from southern parts of Scotland, Aberdeen, down towards northern counties of England, as well as northern parts of Wales. Clear skies in the southeast and a frost across many parts. Here's your summary. For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
Another cold night and more snow on the way. Good morning, welcome to another week. You're watching GMTV Today.
It's blooming freezing in here, I tell you as well. It's nearly 7 o'clock,
Wear some
Monday,
coats.
the 13th of March, 2006.
It's not cold in here.
Oh, it is.
Been outside. Another chilly night across the country. It's been. Many schools in Scotland are closed because of the snow. Most roads are now passable, but with due care and attention. forecasters are predicting more snow today. We're live to two of the worst affected areas with the latest on any disruption, and Claire will have the details on what we can expect over the next 5 days or so. Send us your pictures if you're waking up to the snow this morning. 07739 672 673 and your name and where you are. Get yourself on telly, and thank you ahead of time for that.
Right, and from snow and ice to sunny Sydney, we're live as the Queen begins what might be her last ever state visit there, although she's saying it's not.
That's right, it's her 15th trip, I think. And the man who turned down the chance to be 007, you're not supposed to say, are you, if you turned it down, but that's what Clive Owen has been talking about. Why he didn't want to be James Bond, and what he thinks about Daniel Craig, who did take on the part.
And Cheggard, hey!
Yeah,
He's on the road, hey! Oh, there he is! There he is.
He's got the job as well. A very good morning to you. Look, I've got to be quick. I'm in the centre of Great Britain today, yes, because I've got £50,000 in my pocket to give away during the course of the week, and it's mild today. Hey, look, we're in Hot Whistle, but over that way, 36 miles, is the East Coast. That's the West Coast. And Portland Bill, well, to be honest with you, it could be anywhere you like, and we haven't got a clue what's the other way. Join me later on, I'll tell you how you can win 10 grand. You could be a Chegg winner.
That's it, 10 grand in his pocket.
He's Chegwin all week. Right, winter's returned with a vengeance, as we were saying. Snow and blizzards have hit large parts of Britain. There's more to come, apparently. We've got reporters in two badly affected areas this morning. Sue Jameson is in Scotland. Matt Arnold is in Lancashire. First to Sue in Glasgow. I can see the cars are moving, Sue.
Yes, I think it's just starting to build up now. Perhaps many people are staying at home, but this is the start of the M74, the road that links England and Scotland. Scene of great disruption yesterday because part of the road was closed. There were hundreds of motorists caught up in the chaos as the gritters and the snow clearers went to work. And in Cumbria, the A595 is still closed this morning at Ravenglass, but it was the planes also affected yesterday. Glasgow Airport closed for much of the day. I eventually managed to find my way to Edinburgh and then took a train across to Glasgow. Other trains were also affected. Some of them weren't working for the whole day. But anyway, it is looking a little bit better now, but it's still treacherous conditions out here and also in other parts of the country too, especially where Matt Arnold is. Matt.
Good morning, so I'm in the Forest of Bowland here in Lancashire, and as you can see, total whiteout behind me. Beautiful sights, though, on the slopes there. We've got at least 5 inches of snow. It's the cold front coming in from the western side of the country, meeting this high ground and the cold air at the top and dumping snow everywhere. We've had reports of snow in Liverpool, Manchester, also in Blackpool. The roads are pretty clear at the moment, but the bad news from here is, although it looks very beautiful, they are expecting another fresh dump at some point today, so it could be bad this evening as well.
Much indeed.
A fresh dump.
Yes.
That's
yes.
lovely.
It's lovely. Good start to the day, man. All right, 2 minutes past 7 is the time. Let's get over to Penny at the news desk quickly.
Thank you very much. Good morning. The headlines today. Britain's top policeman is at the centre of a new controversy. 2 men are shot dead and 2 seriously injured as families watch football at a pub. And the best lookers by the people who should know. Britain's top policeman, Sir Ian Blair, is fighting to keep his job after it was revealed that he secretly recorded a confidential telephone conversation with the government's top legal advisor, the Attorney General, Lord Goldsmith. Rachel Harrison is at New Scotland Yard. Rachel.
Yes, good morning. Well, Sir Ian Blair is making the headlines once again for all the wrong reasons. He's accused of taping private phone calls he's had with the Attorney General, Lord Goldsmith, as well as conversations he's had with people from the Police Complaints Commission. Now, recording a phone call is in itself not an offence, but it is when the person is unaware that the phone calls are being taped and then it's heard by a third party. Now, Lord Goldsmith is said to be furious at the revelations, and certainly there are calls for Sir Ian Blair to resign this morning, because this is not the first time he's caused outrage here. Offended many people when he said that he couldn't understand why there was so much publicity surrounding the Soho murders, and he was also accused of covering up the real reason why Jean-Charles de Menzies was shot. Now, Sir Ian Blair is not here to refute the allegations this morning or answer many of the questions that people want to know as to why he did this. He's away skiing at the moment, but there's no doubt that when he returns, he will have to face the music.
Rachel, thanks very much. 2 men have been killed and 2 others seriously injured after gangland shootings in Salford. 2 gunmen went into a pub where families were watching football on television and shot 2 men. It's believed the gunmen were then chased outside and shot dead. Emma Louise Johnston is at the scene. Emma Louise.
Good morning, Penny. Well, the streets surrounding the Brass Handles pub here in Salford are still sealed off this morning. And yes, this bar was packed full of people watching Manchester United on television. And it's thought two men burst into the bar and began shooting and then fled. But they were chased outside and then shot dead. And it's thought a group of children who were playing beside the bar saw the two men being killed. Now, at this stage, it's thought the shooting is linked to two rival gangs from Salford and Manchester. Now, dozens of police officers carried out door-to-door inquiries last night, and these will be continued this morning. Officers will also begin examining CCTV footage. Now, the two men who were injured inside the bar are being treated in hospital this morning under police guard, and police have asked anyone with any information to contact them. Penny.
Emma Louise, thank you very much. Britain's biggest water board has announced a hosepipe ban. Thames Water, which supplies water to 8 million people in London and the home counties, says it's been one of the driest periods on record, as Michelle Morrison reports.
Watering your plants may never have caused a fuss in the past, but for some people after April, doing just that could land them a hefty fine. Following a 15-month drought, Thames Water has announced a hosepipe ban, and it looks likely that other water boards will follow suit.
A sprinkler in an hour uses as much water as a family of 4 would use in a day, and that can't be right when water's short. So we ask everybody to respect these restrictions. They're there for a good reason.
But there are some things that we can do to help. Take a quick shower instead of a bath, and when brushing your teeth, make sure you don't leave that tap running. But it's outside here in the garden where we'll be actually forced to turn the water off altogether.
If there's a real need in this area, then I hope people would be responsible.
You're paying all this money to the water rates, and then they're sort of giving you rules on, you know, how to use your water.
The hope is that people will respect the ban to avoid the need for more serious water restrictions in the near future.
A landmark legal challenge will begin today as employers try to change the law over compensation payments for workers who've been affected by asbestos. At the moment, one company pays compensation. However, employers argue that payouts should be spread amongst all the companies where the employee could have been exposed to asbestos. Lawyers for victims say it could jeopardise the amount of money that they could receive if, for example, one of the companies has gone out of business. Preliminary results of a post-mortem exam on the former Yugoslav leader Slobodan Milosevic showed that he died of a heart attack. Mr Milosevic was found dead in his cell in The Hague, where he was on trial for war crimes. A toxicology report is still to be completed amidst allegations that he may have died of poisoning. His body is being returned to his family today. One of southern Argentina's largest glaciers has begun to spectacularly fall apart. Tourists from all over the world vied for vantage points as huge blocks of ice began falling from the Perito Moreno glacier. The collapse, which happens every few years, is expected to continue all week. And finally, they know all the stars' beauty secrets, and some of them have been spilling the beans. Scarlett Johansson has been named as the most natural beauty in a survey of celebrity makeup artists. The fresh-faced 21-year-old was praised for her flawless skin. Kate Winslet earned second place as an English rose who didn't need any help from the airbrush. And fellow Briton Catherine Zeta-Jones was third. The most flawless male star was Orlando Bloom.
I can't believe that I'm here.
Bless him. 8 minutes past 7. That's it from me until 7:30. Here they are.
You go and rest. Thank you very much.
I'll go and have a little lie down, yeah.
I think you should have I hope Kate Garraway's having a lie down this morning.
Still in.
Morning, Kate. I'm
Yes,
sure you're
morning.
not watching us. Why would you?
Still in hospital.
She's had a little...
recovering.
Oh, is she in
yeah,
hospital
I think
still?
so, yeah. £8.3.
Little girl.
Darcy. Darcy
What a
Draper.
lovely name.
No, we love that. That's
Yeah.
the double D.
Gorgeous name.
Very good, Kate. Very, very good. I hope everything...
Trust you to figure that one out.
Oh, yours was
Sorry,
9.3,
Kate.
right? Your first was 9.3.
Yes, it was. I gave Kate some tips on what to do, what to
Did you?
avoid.
Okay.
Yeah, too many.
I was £3
stitches
when
and
I was
things.
born.
You
I
were what?
No trouble to my mother, I was.
What were you?
£3.
£3?
Just a bag of sugar.
Oh.
Been eating a lot since then. I feel much better now.
I mean, were you in special care? and
I
all that
was,
sort of-
yeah.
bless
I'm all right, dear. I'm all right.
I thought there was something in your past.
But
I wondered what...
I haven't
quite
developed
right.
quite like I should have done. But congratulations to Kate and to Derek. That's
yeah,
wonderful.
all the
Darcy.
very best. We're thrilled for you.
Here's what's happening where you are. We're back in a couple of minutes.
Good morning and welcome to the breakfast news from ITV Granada. 4 men are being questioned after 2 people were killed and 2 others injured in a shooting in a pub in Greater Manchester. Officers were called to the Brass Handles on Fitzwarren Street in Salford yesterday afternoon following reports of gunshots. The pub remains cordoned off this morning and officers are continuing their inquiries.
Certainly an incident as serious as this is very rare, certainly in Salford and across Greater Manchester. What we have got is we've got extra police resources in the area throughout the rest of the course of the evening and night to provide a bit of extra reassurance. We've got detectives at the scene and scenes of crimes officers who are examining the scene, and we will be conducting some house-to-house inquiries to ascertain if anybody has seen anything.
A man's died in a house fire in Salford this morning. The 34-year-old was overcome by smoke at a property on Kimberley Street in Higher Broughton just after 1:30. A man and woman escaped the blaze. The house had 2 smoke alarms. Neither of them contained batteries. Campaigners from across the northwest are waiting to see if the House of Lords will cut payouts for victims of asbestos. Stephen Buckley was diagnosed with terminal cancer caused by asbestos 2 years ago. He thinks he got it from stripping down boilers as a young apprentice. Compensation from his former employers would take care of his wife when he dies. But he's now worried today's ruling could go against people like him. Hundreds of pupils at a Merseyside school are to be vaccinated after an outbreak of hepatitis A. Youngsters at Lander Road Primary in Litherland will today be offered vaccinations during a special visit from health workers. 9 people in the Bootle area, including 4 children from the school, were treated after contracting the liver virus. All have now made a full recovery. 2 letters penned by a teenage David Beckham are expected to reach thousands of pounds when they go under the hammer in Cheshire later. The papers, which were written to a friend within days of the 16-year-old signing for Manchester United, mention how much he was enjoying his new lifestyle. The talented youngster also refers to his first wage packet of just £120. The letters will be up for grabs at a Chester auction house this morning. That's it for now. I'm back at 8:05. Time now for a look at the region's weather.
Take a deep breath and shout down the weather.
Is that the best you can do?
Yesterday's snow and ground frost should die out to form a cloudy but mostly dry day, with wintry showers spreading from the west as the day progresses. There's a chance of some snow over the hills with highs of 4 degrees Celsius.
Monday morning, 12 minutes past 7. Now, forget the snow and freezing weather you're probably waking up to this morning. Let's get down under. I'm sure it's very nice down there. The Queen and Prince Philip have just been officially welcomed in Australia for a 5-day state visit. Officials have rebuked any suggestion of this being a farewell tour by the Queen, despite her advancing years. Richard Gaisford is there for us. A very good morning to you, Richard. Did she get the sort of reception that she ought to?
Well, I think the traditional reception is getting a little muted. Just 200 people turned up at Canberra Airfield yesterday to see her come in. The die-hard monarchists and the expat community from there came to just give her a wave and get a close-up view. A bit different to 1954 when the Queen first arrived here in the country. The glamorous new monarch was the toast of everyone then. 3/4 of the population turned up to wave in the streets and come and see her. A very different reception now in Australia, although down on the steps of the Opera House this morning it was quite a good turnout. Take a look at the Opera House down there on the waterfront. The Queen was there in 1973 to open it. She came back today to have a look at a new development which has opened up one of the sides to get a much better view of the harbour and the bridge behind me. And a good smattering of royalists were down there on the waterfront. You had a number of bemused tourists who were waving flags that they'd been given, not quite sure what was going on, and a good number of young mums who decided they wanted to get out of the house and go and see the Queen.
He's never seen the Queen before, and he wants to see our Queen. He thinks she looks like Grandma.
His father's English and his grandfather's Scottish, so his dad thought it'd be nice for him to see the Queen while she's in Australia.
She was very small and yeah, she's nice.
Oh, I think it's an important occasion. The Queen is our Queen as well. And she's a wonderful person.
And it might be the last time she comes to Australia, so who knows.
I like that little boy there, Richard. She's very small and very nice. No gaffes in etiquette then from the official reception party?
You're thinking about Paul Keating, aren't you, when he put his arm around the Queen's waist there just to move her along there? Nothing like that. John Howard, not so much of a hands-on Prime Minister, but he's a big sports fan. He's going to be heading to the Commonwealth Games and basing himself there for pretty much the whole fortnight. The Queen, of course, is opening the ceremony on Wednesday. The only controversy really on this trip has been how much, if anything at all, of the national anthem is played as part of that opening ceremony. They've come to something of a compromise, but we'll soon know if everyone is happy when we see the Queen's face, whether we get that trademark smile on Wednesday during those opening ceremonies.
I say your smile's looking nice and brown there, Richard, as well. It's nice down there, isn't it? Don't you be moving.
No, I tell you, it is very warm. Actually, just getting dark now. It does look a little dark in the sky, but it has been glorious weather today. And yes, the Queen certainly came down for the right weather for a nice little winter break.
Indeed. Richard, thank you very much indeed.
Nice to see that. Nice to be out with the Queen again. We haven't done that for a long time.
I know, and Prince Philip, who is fantastic to be around, just to hear what he has to say. He's got little comments here and there. He's an absolute rascal. He's wonderful.
Right, competition time, and we've got £50,000 to give away across the week. That means £10,000 a day, and Cheggers could be knocking on your door.
OK, Hot Whistle's where we're going. Are you there? Hello, Keith.
I certainly am. Good morning. I am in Hot Whistle, and just for your information, it's mild today, but look at this. We are in the centre of the UK, and we're better to start my doorstep challenge. Hey, we can prove we're in the centre of the UK. Go on, David, justify it to the nation.
Well, there are several ways of measuring the centre of a country, but here at Hot Whistle, we've made something of it.
There you go, because a lot of people say it could be a farmer's field in Yorkshire, or it could even be in Blackpool. But we thought we wanted to find out what was the centre of actually Hot Whistle itself. And we've trudged fields, we've trekked dales and more. It is, in fact, this laundrette here. But we can do better than that, because, Garrett, hold the end of me tape measure, please. We've worked out that the centre of Britain is right in among... Get in there. Look, it's right inside that washing machine there. There you go, a bit of GMTV science for you. But this is no science. Answer the question, A, B or C, and call the number. Here come the competition details to win £10,000.
Well, hey! £10,000 could be yours with today's competition. That's right, GMTV is giving away £10,000. So for your chance to get your hands on the cash, all you have to do is answer this question. Singer Tom Jones and Charlotte Church are from which country? A, Wales, B, Scotland, or C, England? That's the question, and this is how you enter.
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149. Or you can enter via the website.
It's a tough one. Wales, Scotland or England, I don't know. 09068 100 100 is the number to call. You can be £10,000 richer if I knock on your door. Just for your information, if you want to know, there is our bullseye this morning, the centre of the UK. OK, join us back here at Central Nation very shortly. See you in the mayor.
Thank you for inviting us into your strange and wonderful world this morning, Keith. Speak to you later on. Thanks, mate.
That looks very high up to be the centre, doesn't it?
Yeah, the concept, there's a lot up north then, isn't there? Yeah. There's a lot north of that.
Yeah.
Including all of Scotland. Good morning to you.
Now then, when we come back, it's important this morning, the weather is all over the place. That's the scene in Lancashire. It looks gorgeous, but clearly it's cold and it might prevent you doing things. So we'll have a full weather update when we come back. And the prodigal son returns to Emmerdale and he's up to no good, meeting father and son. There they both are after the break. Hello again, 7:22, Monday morning. We've got two guests in the studio who aren't afraid of a bit of rough and tumble. The last time Emmerdale's father and son...
Hey!
Hey, now things are looking up already, aren't they? Father and son, Bob and Jamie Hope. Last time they were together, a fight broke out. And that was at a wedding. Well, the prodigal son, as you can see here, has returned. And here they are, father and son. As I say, the last time we saw you, Jamie, was Alex, rather, who plays Jamie, who is Bob's son. You costumed one, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a dramatic entrance, really, because it was in front of all the regulars in the Woolpack.
Yeah.
And I came in and give you a slap.
Yeah.
And then I received one as well off that Scott Windsor.
Yeah, it was a memorable wedding, but then it was bound to be, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, Bob's 6th wedding.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realise it was his 6th,
Can't wait till the next one.
Do you know, Tony, I was just, I was looking through my notes last night. You haven't been in Emmerdale only 4 years.
No, 6 years.
Yeah, well, that's what it said in the... Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I thought he's been in it much longer than 4 years, and seemingly you have, so that's all right then. Why are you dressed in these shirts this morning?
Well, you know, we thought we'd come down to the big city and kind of make a bit of an effort,
He's ma'am. the sheriff. I'm his deputy. You know, we're doing family fortunes this afternoon, so...
Are you?
But we're not allowed to tell you that.
Right,
we're not?
Secret, yeah.
Oh, right, OK, well,
Because
I've not
Family
told you that.
Fortunes, which Vernon Kay is doing, starts again soon, doesn't it? And which family are you up against, then? Or you're not allowed to
We're not allowed to
us
tell you that we're
That's
against the Battersbys.
Oh!
There you go. TV career shattered.
Right, Alex, this is a big thing for you, isn't it? You were in Hollyoaks. We knew you were there as Lee Hunter, for which you won a British Soap Award for Best Comedy Performance.
Do you have to mention
I
that?
seem to think someone else was in that category, weren't they?
Yeah. Which is it we haven't talked about yet, have we? We've kind of
thanks for
avoided
bringing it
that.
up in public.
I thought I'd bring it up just so you could get it out of the way. But do you want to see him winning it as well?
Yeah,
I don't
not
know-
really, no.
I don't know if it shows your sad face in the audience, but...
Yeah.
There, look,
Oh, that was before the sunbeds.
Let the man through, let the young man
That's him
through.
after he's victorious, clearly, talking about it.
Yeah.
And so, what made you leave Hollyoaks then? Because I heard you criticised it a bit, didn't you? Saying,
I did like a massive half-an-hour interview, and they just said, oh, you know, and the guy who did the interview used to work at the company as well, and we were just having general chat.
Yeah.
And then I just mentioned, oh, you know, we used to work long hours and things
yeah.
like that. And next thing I know, it looked like I was slagging off a company that I worked for 4.5 years, but...
And you weren't.
No, it doesn't matter though, does it?
No,
It's
it
not like
doesn't.
it's a small industry.
Not now you're in Emmerdale.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no, but I agreed to leave Hollyoaks. I didn't, like, go to Emmerdale on the sly. I said I was going to leave Hollyoaks, and
Yeah.
my contract was running out, and I went for the audition.
And you are back again. As I say, the last time we saw you, you hit your dad at the wedding. He hit you back. You went back to Spain, and tonight you return. Here he is.
Jamie! Oh, is it really you?
Well, last time I looked, aye.
Come for return match,
Can we not just hug or something, Dad?
Yay!
Bought some bags, I see.
Oh, of course he has, yeah. He's come to see his old dad.
Who's in the process of trying to become a new dad. He can't stay.
I'll sort something out. So, to what do we owe this pleasure?
Well, I was over here on business. Just thought I'd pop in and see the folks.
Fantastic. Sit down.
Yeah. And then he turns into
A monster.
Exactly. Well, you
I
said it.
spawned a monster.
So we've got that to look forward to. The father-son relationship.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, it kicks off actually tomorrow night, doesn't it? Big style.
Does it? So tonight you arrive back, and then tomorrow night you start your antics and show the real side.
Yeah, a bit of a darker side. Yeah, it should be interesting, shouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It was good fun doing
You
it.
want money, don't you? You want money, apparently.
Yeah, well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
but
lad
have
of
your
my
poor
age.
old dad, he's got enough on his
I've
plate.
not had a dad for so long, have I? He's been over here. I was stuck in Spain. I didn't have a father. Look at me trying to justify it.
Yeah.
So he needs
That's
to
what
pay
everything-
up to make up for lost time, yeah.
Bob's got loads of money, of course. All those hours in the wool pack. Very well paid.
Oh. Yes, but Tony, however, is looking very fit this morning. Is there a particular reason for that? Well, you are very lean, isn't it? He's bristling with
slim,
fitness.
lithe, yeah. Well, I'm about 6 weeks off the marathon now, as Andrew will know, of course.
Yes.
Is it only 6
It's
weeks?
6 weeks. Well, I was taking some
He's only
advice
up
from
to
Tony.
16 miles at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I'm up to no miles last week, so I've been injured all week, but...
But you did... Oh, are you OK? I mean, it's not going to keep you out, is it?
No, it should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
You're
hoping
healed
it
now.
will, because last time, was it last year that you ran it? And you beat every other celebrity in the competition, didn't
Yeah,
you?
the last 3 years I've done that.
Yeah.
But I really want to beat 3 hours this year. I was 3 hours and 4 seconds a couple of years ago, so I've
Oh,
just
that
got to
is
knock those...
Amazing.
That is a nightmare, isn't it? Coming
Yeah.
down the mall and seeing the seconds ticking over.
Yeah.
3 hours is a phenomenal time to run the marathon.
What are you aiming for?
I want to be under 4 hours.
Right,
I mean,
okay.
if I can. I mean, I might do it again anyway, but if I didn't break 4 hours, I'd have to. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's a classic club sort of effort, isn't it? Or
I hope to
hacker's
goodness
effort.
you do, because he'll be unbearable
Right.
if he comes in over 4 hours.
You are doing it someday soon. It'll be great for you. Get your runners on.
My wife's going for 4 hours as well. So, yeah.
That's Ruth, you want?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
so have you been training together?
Yeah, we do some runs together, but I'm quite a bit quicker than her, so...
All right, well, lovely to see you. We look forward to seeing your dynamic on air later on tonight. And you're back later in the programme too, aren't you? Good. You're in a very frisky mood this morning, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's got
Isn't he, just?
He's got the devil in him. He needs to put some miles in, take some energy out of it. All right, let's have a look at the weather picture. Not the weather for running, as I found out yesterday.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello, good morning. Well, the winter weather returned with a vengeance yesterday. We've got pictures from Glasgow this morning. Lots of snow fell across Glasgow, not only Glasgow, Edinburgh as well, right down central lowlands. You can see here, I think the roads are fairly clear. That's Lancashire. Look at that. Stunning, really stunning countryside. Even so, very cold here, lots of wintry weather and also ice on the roads as well, so please beware if you are out and about. This is the band of clouds and rain which will be moving in through this morning into this afternoon, bringing rain to Northern Ireland, but as it hits the cold air over Scotland, it's likely to turn to snow, particularly later on. This area of clouds and rain gradually then moving its way southwards over the next 24 hours or so, bringing snow to the northern parts of England, as well as northern parts of Wales and perhaps even the Midlands later on. So this is the picture this morning. You can see central and eastern areas getting away with some dry and fine sunshine this morning. Elsewhere, it's a cloudy picture. Cloudy picture through this afternoon. Very windy indeed. Gale force winds likely across Scotland. So as the wind blows and that snow falls, you can see blizzard conditions. Blizzard conditions. Ice on the roads as well, so please beware if you are out and about. This is the band of clouds and rain which will be moving in through this morning into this afternoon, bringing rain to Northern Ireland, but as it hits the cold air over Scotland, it's likely to turn to snow, particularly later on. This area of clouds and rain gradually then moving its way southwards over the next 24 hours or so, bringing snow to the northern parts of England, as well as northern parts of Wales and perhaps even the Midlands later on. So this is the picture this morning. You can see central and eastern areas getting away with some dry and fine sunshine this morning. Elsewhere, it's a cloudy picture. Cloudy picture through this afternoon. Very windy indeed. Gale force winds likely across Scotland. So as the wind blows and that snow falls, you can see blizzard conditions. Blizzard conditions heading their way southwards through today into later on this evening into tonight. So temperatures here only up to around 3 degrees Celsius. You can see that rain gradually then moving in across northern counties of England. Again, turning snow, particularly over the higher ground, Lancashire and Cumbria. Northern Ireland seeing some rain here through this afternoon, breezy across Wales, and again some rain, particularly for northwestern areas of Wales as it heads its way southeastwards, though turning to snow later on tonight. Dry for the Midlands as well as East Anglia, as well as the southeast and central southern England. Breezy here, temperatures struggling to 5 degrees Celsius, up to 7 across the West Country. A breezy here with some rain later on. Sunny for the Channel Islands. And then through the night, you can see where that clouds and the rain and the snow is. This is the area where we are expecting to snow. Southeast, we could actually see some clear skies, so watch out for frost problems through tomorrow morning. So this is the outlook for the next 5 days. You can see some good weather, particularly on Wednesday. I think Wednesday's the best day. Even so, it's going to be very cold wherever you are. Just step out the way so you can see what's happening through the week. And in fact, we are expecting some snow showers across eastern areas of England, down towards the southeast, Thursday into Friday, and those temperatures struggling. Wrap up warm. Here's your summary. For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
7:30. Here's Penny with the news.
Thanks very much. Good morning. Britain's top policeman, Sir Ian Blair, is fighting to keep his job after it was revealed that he secretly recorded a confidential telephone conversation with the government's top legal advisor. The Attorney-General, Lord Goldsmith, is said to be annoyed by the revelation. The Home Secretary, Charles Clarke, has demanded an explanation. There's been a development in the Salford shooting investigation. We can cross straight now to Emma Louise Johnston, who's at the scene. Emma Louise.
Good morning, Penny. Well, I've just spoken to police and they've told me that 4 men have been arrested in connection with the shooting here at the Brass Handles pub in Salford, and they're said to be in their early 20s. Now, the pub was said to be packed full of people watching the Manchester United match on television yesterday. It's thought 2 men burst into the bar and began shooting and then fled, but they were chased outside and shot dead. Now, at this stage, it's thought that the shooting is linked to 2 rival gangs from Salford and Manchester. Now, dozens of police officers carried out door-to-door inquiries last night, and these will continue this morning. Also, officers will begin to examine CCTV footage. Now, the 2 men that were injured inside the bar, they're being treated in hospital this morning under police guard. But anyone with any information should contact police. Penny.
Emma Louise, thank you. 2 people have been killed by tornadoes in the American Midwest. Southern Missouri and Illinois were the worst affected areas as the twisters flattened homes in a 20-mile stretch of destruction. The young girl who died in an arson attack at her home in Birmingham has been named 6-year-old Alicia Begum. She was trapped after 2 men threw petrol through the front door of the house last Friday. 5 other members of the family escaped with minor injuries. Police have launched a murder inquiry. A 31-year-old man is to be questioned further about an explosion which killed a man and 3 children at their home in Staffordshire. The blast happened late on Thursday. 44-year-old Roderick Hine and the children, aged 16, 10 and 7, all died. Mr Hine's partner visited the ruins of her home on Saturday afternoon to lay flowers at the scene. The former Yugoslav leader Slobodan Milosevic died of a heart attack, according to preliminary results from a post-mortem examination. Milosevic was found dead in his cell in The Hague, where he was on trial for war crimes. A toxicology report is awaited amidst allegations that he may have died of poisoning. His body is being returned to his family today. And finally, one of southern Argentina's largest glaciers has begun spectacularly to fall apart. Tourists from all over the world vie for vantage points as enormous blocks of ice began falling from the Perito Moreno glacier. The collapse, which happens every few years, is expected to continue all week. 7:33, back at 8. There they are.
Yeah, no sign of that bloke swimming under there. See that?
No.
Poor fella.
No.
Came as a
Unusual,
bit of a
wasn't it?
surprise.
Just in case you haven't heard, Kate has had a baby, a little girl, 8 pounds 3 ounces. Darcy's her name.
Yeah, last Friday morning. Congratulations.
Yeah. Right, what are we doing now? Oh, we're doing some
Well, we'll head
weather
away.
because the wet. Oh, right, we're going into a break. We were going to show you some pictures of the weather all over the
We'll
country.
do that in a minute.
But we're not now.
Well, we'll do that in a minute. Yes, why we are expecting the big chill for the rest of the week. The weather is going to be very, very cold and nasty. Cordelia's catching up with Clive Owen in New York as well, so we've got that to look forward to. Here's that.
The most amazing array of leading ladies you've worked with recently. Jodie Foster, Julia Roberts, Jennifer Aniston, all the J's, I suppose. Tell us who's the best kisser.
From Bin Man to Soul Man, X Factor's Andy Abraham performs his debut single live, Friday morning on GMTV.
7:38 is the time. It's been another cold night. Snow showers over Scotland and the north of England, we hear. We've been asking for your snowy camera phone pictures this morning. Thank you very much for obliging. This one is from someone calling himself Snowman from Scotland. So very clever snowman, I presume, in the middle, with family there. And we have another one. This is from Sharon Davis in Shropshire. Not the Sharon Davis, but a Sharon Davis. Sharon, thank you very much indeed. And from Chris James in Pontypridd. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
that'll,
right.
that'll be fine. That's a car park with cars. Thank you very much indeed. So do keep them coming in. The number is on the screen now, 07739 672 673. Thank you very much indeed. Forecasters warn there is more poor weather to come. Claire has the details in a few minutes. Hello, Claire. But first, to Matt Arnold, who is in the Forest of Bowland in Lancashire, which looks spectacular, but I wonder what difficulties it's giving people this morning. Morning, Matt.
Good morning to you, Andrew. Well, if you'd been practising for your marathon out here, I don't think you'd have got very far yesterday. Up to 5 inches in actually the trough of Bowland. It's a beautiful part of Lancashire on the west side of the Pennines. But as you can see, totally blanketed with snow. And the reason for that is that the cold front has been coming in from the western side of the country, which is why the north of England has hit it so badly. We've got about 5 inches here in the Forest of Bowland. And the bad news is for anybody in this part of the world is that they're expecting another fresh outburst of snow tonight. Up in Scotland, we've got problems as well. We've still got several schools closed up there, so some kids this morning are going to be very pleased that they're not going to have to go in. But the good news from Scotland is that most of the roads are open, so the gridders have obviously been out doing their thing. But this weather hasn't finished yet. It's going to be cold for the rest of the week. It's 0 degrees here at the moment, so very, very icy. And as I said, we're expecting fresh snow here today, so the problem is not going to go away just yet.
A fresh dump, you mean?
No dumps.
For those of you who missed Matt last time, he said we're expecting a fresh dump any time.
Yeah, it's very good. Graphic explanation. Mate.
I think he's having one now, actually.
Go and dip your toes in that water behind you. Cheers, Matt. You're not getting away with that. OK. Now, despite the snow and recent rainwater, Thames Water is bringing in a hosepipe ban for 8 million customers in London and the home counties. Claire, why are they doing that?
Well, because last winter, this winter just gone, we received very little rainfall, only up to around 60% of what we should have done.
Right.
That's right across from north, south, east and west. And that means reservoirs are around 30 to 40% full. They should be full by now.
Would they be full if there weren't leaks? That's the
Well, leakage
problem.
actually accounts for a lot of the problems we're having at the moment, but not all problems. But in fact, they could actually sort that situation out, and it would improve the situation in the south. Even so, when it comes to April, we're almost in April now, we're in mid-March already, the sun is so strong, it evaporates the rain. So it starts raining, it evaporates away. So we're not getting insignificant rain, which actually will mean it will fill up the aquifers as well as the reservoirs. So we're in a situation which means we will be in a drought right the way through the summer months now.
And the big chill will last all week. I thought this was supposed to happen last week, actually.
Last week, well, we've been swinging from mild to cold, and we're seeing a lot of snow last night. And the reason why, the wind's now coming in from an easterly direction. As we're trying to get rain in from the west, it hits the cold air, and that's the reason why we're seeing the snow. And in fact, this week it's going to be freezing cold. Everybody's going to have to wrap up warm and keep their heating on overnight because it's going to be sub-zero temperatures and also cold, cold winds from the east. But if the easterly winds keep going right the way through the spring months, by the summer we could have a nice hot summer.
Is June now spring? I mean, when are we going to see some decent weather, honestly?
Well, not this week.
Not this week. Maybe next week. Thank you very much, Claire.
It hasn't been bad, though, has it? We've had some lovely, really golden, sunshiny days with a crisp sort of feel. Lovely days,
It's not filthy weather. It's just sort of like, can we stop it being grey now? We've had 18 years of it, it feels like. It's been a long winter.
I think it's been all right this winter. It's very confusing for the heating systems, though. Right, we heard from new James Bond actor Daniel Craig on Friday, and now the man who turned down the part has been talking to GMTV about why he feels sorry for the new Bond, apparently. Oh, I'm sure they'll get on well when they meet up again. Cordelia Kretschmar is in New York for us this morning. I think you quite liked Clive Owen, didn't you, Cordelia?
Ooh, could you tell? What woman doesn't? Yeah, well, he's got the kind of image of a very brooding, sort of dangerous, hard man. So when I met him, I was expecting a man of very few words. But in the event, when we met just yesterday, actually, here in New York City, he was telling us all kinds of things. You remember he was not so long ago in the running for the James Bond role, but in the event, of course, it went to Daniel Craig. Well, I asked him why that was. He said, actually, he changed his mind, turned it down, and he doesn't regret it.
I deliberately put myself out of the frame. I made myself unavailable. I took a slate of films, which I'm still in the middle of now, and they're all completely different, varied, but all with really fantastic people, and I couldn't be happier doing what I'm doing.
Could have been a smart choice after all, as we now know. Daniel Craig getting all kinds of flack for being the first blonde Bond, and Clive Owen said he sympathises.
Daniel Craig's a really great actor. I think he's having a little bit of a tough time, I think, at the moment, and I think it will all go away when the movie comes out, because he's a really, really great actor, so I'm sure he'll shut them all up soon.
I hope he does, because he is having a hard time at the moment. I can see why you like Clive, by the way, Cordelia. Jodie... I thought you might. Jodie Foster, too. You talked to her about Bond as well.
Yeah, I mean, what actress would turn down the role of a Bond girl? But actually, when I spoke to Jodie yesterday, too, she said she has her eye on another Bond role.
Funny, I don't think anyone cares to see me as Bond girl. Maybe a Bond villain. You see, maybe that's in my future, a Bond villain.
So all the while we've been talking to them about Bond, there was this thing saying inside man over both of their shoulders. I take it that was what you were really there to be talking about, their new movie, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. A bit cheeky of us, really. But they were all in New York to promote Inside Man. It is quite a good crime caper, a kind of a bank heist movie with a twist. Clive Owen's in it, Jodie Foster's in it, of course, and also Denzel Washington. Have a look.
Recently, I planned and set in motion events to execute the perfect bank robbery.
Everybody get down on the floor now!
Why? Because I can.
Clive, I think you might have cracked America.
Really?
Did you ever have this kind of a eureka moment where you thought, I've done it?
No, I mean, I'm having the most fantastic time and have been for a little while now. And but no, I never think that. I just think that this is what I've always wanted. I'm hugely grateful. I've had some very fortunate breaks, and this, you know, if it just carries on like this, I don't need more than this.
I should say so. You're not going to tell me how you're planning to get out of here, are you?
I'm going to walk right out the front door. Anything else?
He plays a guy behind a mask that you never see. So you almost never see his eyes, you never see his face, and he really, you really get a sense of who he is, and yet he really keeps that mystery. I think that's something about Clive on screen, is that he's quite mysterious. The funny thing is that in life, he's nothing like that. He's funny and chatty, and he's always drumming his fingers and tapping his toes. He's very kind of like ticky, you know, and goofy.
The most amazing array of leading ladies you've worked with recently. Jodie Foster, Julia Roberts, Jennifer Aniston, all the J's, I suppose. Tell us who was the best kisser.
They were all lovely.
You didn't try, did you?
Off camera, of course I did. What a charmer, though, there. Giving James Bond a run for his money. But I've got to tell you, he is, I'm afraid, happily married with 2 young kids, living in London.
Yeah.
There's no hope for us.
What did my mum used to say? She's very forward, isn't she? That's what my mother used to say. Thanks, Cordelia. Thanks very much. Thanks. Quick reminder about the competition now. It's your chance to win £10,000.
Here's the question you need to answer with a strong, dark and brooding Keith.
Singer Tom Jones and Charlotte Church are from which country? A, Wales, B, Scotland, or C, England?
You can dial 09068 100 100, or you can text A, B or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149.
£10,000. Simple as that. Have a go at the competition. We'll talk about the television after this, including who'll win this tug of love over baby Joshua in Corrie.
TV Pick of the Day is sponsored by Lotus Thirst Pockets with technology.
Haven't seen that one before. Hello, Richard. Good morning.
Good morning.
How was your weekend? Are you well? Are you all right?
Trying to open my eyes, actually. Put the heating on last night.
Right.
Big
It's another
mistake,
week.
huge.
Let's go.
Like being in a blast furnace.
And you had a rhubarb crumble, I
I
hear.
did. Repeated on me several times as well, which is why I'm not looking my best.
Did you make it?
I did make it. Yeah, it's
done.
very easy to throw a bit of crumble together. Will you indulge me in a little bit of review?
Certainly.
I'd like to flag up Planet Earth if you haven't seen it already. It was 9 o'clock last night. We had it's on different areas of the planet. I mean, it's just nice that the planet feels big again. Do you know what I mean?
It's wonderful filming.
6 more shows in the autumn, and they're going to be accompanied by 3-minute films about how to save animals on the planet Earth. So, worthy stuff, but well worth it. Butchers.
Next.
Speaking of butchers, on to ITV1's Slaying of the Week. A good murder. Although there are no bodies in tonight's show, it is equally gripping, probably because there's someone brooding and handsome who's stalking Kate Aubrey. Take a look.
You dropped this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Not at all. What is that, please? The flower.
It's a caper flower.
The flower of love, yeah.
You know the painting?
Oh, yes. When I first came to London, that was the one thing on earth I wanted to see. You like it too?
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. May I ask you to come for a cup of coffee?
I don't trust you.
Julian Aubrey, funnily enough, he is the villain of the piece. Fine. Julian Aubrey meets him in a gallery, and then he tries to get his claws into her fortune, which is something masterminded.
And I haven't got any more
Anna
script,
Massey.
but I think it's Coronation.
Total Love in Coronation Street.
Yes.
Joshua is in the back garden with Matt Ransom. Take a look.
Get out now.
He's mine. I've barely ever seen him.
I'm calling the police. You said you were on your own. I was this morning. No, you weren't. He was here all along waiting for his chance. Joshua, go inside, please. Go on. We just want 5 minutes.
Look, Josh.
No.
Look, I've got you something. Do you like it?
Just 5 minutes. You put him down.
No, I won't. It's the first time I've ever held my son in my arms.
He's not yours. Leave him alone.
As well as that,
I
we've
bet
got Mike.
Ashley blames her, or doesn't he?
Oh,
I
it all comes out in the wash. Also, did you see Mike come back dishevelled yesterday? How heartbreaking was that?
Not nice.
He wanders off again tonight in his pyjamas. Moving swiftly on to the Rutting Ramsden's actually in tonight's DL and Pascoe, and he plays an English football player, or player for England, who gets killed on a level crossing while he's in a bus, while the bus gets trapped on the level crossing.
Oh, joy and happiness.
It turns out he was murdered before the bus actually got hit.
Oh, OK.
That's the twist. Here's a butcher's.
Right. Like to tease you.
Good night.
The woman who lost 30 stone. Extraordinary people, 9 o'clock, Channel 5.
As I understood it, was only £8 3 ounces, wasn't it? She had the rest shaved off.
Oh, yeah. That's Kate we're talking about
Kate
now, not the
Garraway.
30 stone, but the £8 3 ounces
A
she
father
had.
at last.
A little
Congratulations,
girl
Derek.
On Friday, 8:15 in the morning. That's it. I mean, well, she had to arrive during our show, didn't she? Couldn't have been any other time. Congratulations. Let's find out what the weather has in store. Here's Claire.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello, good morning. Well, we've got some pretty awful conditions. We've had some conditions overnight, which meant snow across many central and northern areas of Scotland down towards more southern parts, as well as northwest England and northern parts of Wales. Now, we do have live shots this morning from Lancashire. It does look stunning, doesn't it? But we had a lot of snow overnight, up to 5 inches in places. In fact, we are expecting some more later on today and into tomorrow, and that means more pretty awful conditions for this part of the world. Also, Glasgow as well, although I think the roads have now been gritted. The good news is you should be, although there is a traffic jam there, but you can see the roads have been gritted there, but they have seen a lot of snow, and there will be snow later. That's later today into tonight, with blizzard conditions possible because the winds are going to be so strong. So sadly, this is the situation now. Now, we don't have any weather graphics this morning. There's been a problem with our computer. So sorry, you've just got me, and I'm going to just briefly tell you what's going to be going on over the next 24 hours or so. Now, the rain's coming in from the west. As it comes in, it's going to hit the colder air across Scotland, northwest England. It's going to turn to snow anywhere from Aberdeen, central lowlands, down towards northern areas of England. So later on today into tonight, you will see some more snow. Then turning back to rain later on. Heading further south, sadly, it's going to be a wet day across more western areas of Wales, but for the Midlands, South East, East Anglia, as well as the West Country, you should see some sunshine this morning into this afternoon. It's really tonight where we'll see that rain gradually moving its way down towards the South East. Temperatures today really struggling away from Northern Ireland, where you should see 10 Celsius. Elsewhere, 3 to 5 degrees Celsius. And this is a summary for today. You can see where the snow is coming from, heading its way southeastwards. At least there'll be some sunshine in the southeast at first. The outlook for the next few days is, well, it's going to remain dry and cold in the east. Perhaps 1 or 2 snow showers coming in across this region here, and temperatures really struggling. The winter continues at least till Friday. I'll be back, well, in around half an hour, so hopefully we'll have some graphics then. Here's a summary. For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
Death by junk mail. Did scammers who'd duped Lillian out of £36,000 cause the stroke which killed her? Morning, everyone. You're watching GMTV today.
It's almost 8 o'clock. It's Monday, the 13th of March, 2006.
Well, you saw Lillian Lazenby's picture there at the beginning of the programme. When grieving relatives went to her house, they found 10,000 junk letters from around the world promising the pensioner a fortune. You'll know them, we've all had them, but Lillian fell for them, and her niece thinks it cost her life. We're talking from you. We've had a few calls in already this morning. If you've been plagued by junk mail, I know there are these phone calls that come late at night as well now, international phone calls offering holidays, all that sort of stuff. We'd love to hear your experience, and the number to text is 81189. You can call too, obviously, or email gm.tv.
Stop it happening by just going no.
Well, don't answer the damn things.
Don't answer, not even one of the things. Right, Easter Day is what we're talking about now. It's on April the 16th this year. The bookies are taking odds on a white Easter, not a white Christmas, a white Easter, after springtime snow hit much of the country overnight. We'll have an update from 2 of the worst hit areas, and we'd like to see your snowy pictures. We've had a few in this morning. Thank you very much. Do give your name and where you are as well, so we can credit you for your artwork. 07739 672 673.
Yeah, they're offering odds on snow in June as well. We've also got the gift of life. We have an update on the woman who gave her friend a kidney for Christmas. It's a lovely story. We're talking to both of them later on.
And when it comes, this is a big question, when it comes to jeans, do you like them skinny? Well, it all depends on what the legs are like underneath, frankly. It's Lorraine's big debate this morning. That's the look.
That's the look. They're brilliant, actually, to shove in some boots. Lorraine's going to tell us more, actually.
Oh, OK. Here's Lorraine.
Yeah, we're just getting ready in the makeup room here. We're just having a blather. Skinny jeans are out, apparently, so there you are. Baggy jeans are in, so you're going to follow fashion. You can let us know. And Rachel's here. It's lovely to see you, Rachel. Rachel is going to be telling us why she wants your old clothes. Could be a lot of skinny jeans in there, actually, if everybody ends up giving them up. We will see you very soon in about half an hour's time.
All right, look forward to that. We're going to see Penny now with the news.
Thanks very much. Good morning. The headlines today. There are demands for Britain's top policeman to resign. There have been major developments in the Salford shooting. And the best lookers by the people who should know. There have been developments this morning as police investigate a shooting in Salford which left 2 people dead and 2 more in hospital. Emma Louise Johnston is at the scene. Emma Louise.
Good morning, Penny. Well, I've just spoken to police and 4 men have been arrested in connection with the shooting here in Salford, and they're said to be in their early 20s. Now, the streets surrounding the Brass Handles pub in Salford are still sealed off this morning. We're told the bar was packed full of people watching the Manchester United match on television. It's thought 2 men entered the bar and began shooting and then fled, but they were chased outside and shot dead. Now, at this stage, it's thought the shooting is linked to 2 rival gangs in Salford and Manchester. Now, dozens of police officers carried out door-to-door searches last night, and these will continue this morning. Officers will begin looking at CCTV footage. Now, the 2 men who were injured inside the bar are being treated in hospital this morning under police guard, and police have asked anyone with any information to contact them.
Emma Louise, thank you. Britain's top policeman Sir Ian Blair is under pressure to resign after his office admitted that he secretly recorded a phone conversation with the government's top legal advisor. The Attorney-General, Lord Goldsmith, is said to be angry about the revelation. Rachel Harrison is at New Scotland Yard. Rachel.
Yes, good morning. Also, Ian Blair is making the headlines once again for all the wrong reasons. He's accused of taping private phone calls he's had with the Attorney-General, Lord Goldsmith, as well as conversations he's had with people from the Police Complaints Commission. Now, recording a phone call is in itself not an offence, but it is when the person is unaware that the phone calls are being taped and then it's heard by a third party. Now, Lord Goldsmith is said to be furious at the revelations, and certainly there are calls for Sir Ian Blair to resign this morning, because this is not the first time he's caused outrage. He offended many people when he said that he couldn't understand why there was so much publicity surrounding the Soho murders, and he was also accused of covering up the real reason why Jean-Charles de Menzies was shot. Now, Sir Ian Blair is not here to refute the allegations this morning or answer many of the questions that people want to know as to why he did this. He's away skiing at the moment, but there's no doubt that when he returns, he will have to face the music.
Rachel, thanks very much. Winter has returned with a vengeance. Snow and blizzards have hit large parts of Britain, and there's more to come. We've got reporters in 2 of the badly affected areas. Sue Jameson is in Scotland and Matt Arnold is in Lancashire. First to Sue in Glasgow. Sue.
Yes, good morning. It doesn't look like the easiest journey to work, does it? A lot of snow here yesterday, a lot of disruption. Start of the M74, the road between Scotland and England. It was closed in places yesterday. Hundreds of motorists caught up as the gritters and the snow clearers went to work. And the A595 in Cumbria is still closed at the moment. Now, elsewhere, planes, big problems. Glasgow Airport was closed. I eventually got up here through Edinburgh Airport. And the trains also were not great yesterday. They should be all right today, but the trouble is there is more snow expected here. They're worried about all this, of course, turning to mush and starting to flood, and they've got concerns too where Matt Arnold is. Matt, what's the problem with you?
The problem with me this morning is my snow terminology, Sue, I think. Having manfully avoided the word dump last time, I then went and compounded things by saying we'd had a fresh outburst of snow here in Lancashire, but I think you get the point. 3 inches lying on the ground here, and it's all because the cold air is coming across and hitting the high parts of the northern England. So this is the western slopes of the Pennines here, and really we've got 3 inches to 5 inches here, and they're expecting more snow in the day. The roads are all clear at the moment, but we have had snow in Manchester, in Liverpool, in Newcastle, the high parts of the Pennines, the North Yorkshire moors, all the way down to the peaks. We're expecting more snow today. So winter is back. It looks very Christmassy, but not what you'd expect for spring.
Matt, thank you very much, and Sue, thank you too. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh are visiting one of their favourite destinations, Australia. Richard Gaisford is there for us. And Richard, what sort of reception have they been getting?
It's been a pretty warm reception here in Sydney today, Penny, down on the steps of the Opera House behind me. Thousands of people queued up to see the Queen, get a glimpse of the Queen. A lot of them saying she was very small but very nice. A bit of a smattering of die-hard royalists. You had some elderly people there, some tourists who had no idea what was going on. Lots of young mums with babies and children who brought them down to try and get a glimpse of the Queen. There have been a number of reports here in Australia that this may be her last visit, being her 80th year, and she might not come down again, although royal officials are denying that. She was here to open a new development of the Opera House. She was first here in 1973. It has to be said that as the years go on, the crowds get smaller, but generally the reception is a good one. The Republican movement is very quiet at the moment. No one's really bothered about it. They just like to have the Queen here to see her and to let her get on with her job. And she's been doing that all day. She's been at a meeting today where she's talked about AIDS and how important it is that the Commonwealth concentrates on AIDS. And she's then on to Canberra today for another series of meetings before heading to Melbourne to open the Commonwealth Games on Wednesday.
And just very briefly, what is the temperature there?
Oh, it's been just touching 30 today. No sign of snow, just a warm evening breeze wafting past, Penny.
Thanks, Richard. And finally, they know all the stars' beauty secrets, and some of them have been spilling the beans. Scarlett Johansson has been named the most natural beauty in a survey of celebrity makeup artists. The fresh-faced 21-year-old was praised for her flawless skin. Kate Winslet was in second place as an English rose who didn't need any help from the airbrush. And there's Catherine Zeta-Jones, she came third. 7 minutes, almost 7 minutes past 8. That's it from me. Here's what's happening where you are. Good morning and welcome to the breakfast news from ITV Granada. 4 men are being questioned after 2 people were killed and 2 others injured in a shooting in a pub in Greater Manchester. Officers were called to the Brass Handles on Fitzwarren Street in Salford yesterday afternoon, following reports of gunshots. The pub remains cordoned off this morning and officers are continuing their inquiries.
Certainly an incident as serious as this is very rare, certainly in Salford and across Greater Manchester. What we have got is we've got extra police resources in the area throughout the rest of the course of the evening and night to provide a bit of extra reassurance. We've got detectives at the scene and scenes of crimes officers who are examining the scene, and we will be conducting some house-to-house inquiries to ascertain if anybody has seen anything.
A man's died in a house fire in Salford this morning. The 34-year-old was overcome by smoke at a property on Kimberley Street in Higher Broughton just after 1:30. A man and woman escaped the blaze and are being treated in hospital. The house had 2 smoke alarms. Neither of them contained batteries. It's been over a week since the family of a Manchester mother missing in Ecuador flew to South America to look for her. Our reporter Ashley Derricott joined them. Jennifer Pope's not been seen since vanishing in January. There'll be an exclusive report in Granada Reports tonight at 6.
On tonight's Granada Reports, I will be reporting exclusively from the town of Baños in Ecuador, the place where missing backpacker Jennifer Pope was last seen alive and where her family believe she was murdered. We have followed them to South America and we have an exclusive interview. Also, for the first time on British television, we'll be speaking to witnesses who could hold the key to solving this case. That's a Granada Reports exclusive tonight at 6.
2 letters penned by a teenage David Beckham are expected to reach thousands of pounds when they go under the hammer in Cheshire later. The papers, which were written to a friend within days of the 16-year-old signing for Manchester United, mention how much he was enjoying his new lifestyle. The talented youngster also refers to his first wage packet of just £120. The letters will be up for grabs at a Chester auction house this morning. That's it for now. I'm back at 5 to 11. Time
Time now for a look at the region's weather.
Take a deep breath and shout down the weather.
Is that the best you can do? Yesterday's snow and ground frost should die out, but driving conditions on high ground could still be hazardous. As the day progresses, it'll be cloudy and mostly dry, with wintry showers spreading from the west. There's a chance of some snow over the hills, with highs of 4 degrees.
Hello, nice to see you. Monday morning, 8:10. A really uncomfortable story now of how an elderly lady was so tormented by junk mail scams that her family claims she was driven to her death. You know the kind of junk mail I'm talking about. Lillian Lazenby spent an astonishing £36,000 plunging herself into massive debt before dying from a stroke. This is all in the hope that she was going to win some money. She never ever did. Jackie Kabler is in Plymouth. Jackie, that seems an enormous amount of money. Just what sort of things was Lillian spending this on?
Well, it's dreadful. You know, we all get the odd bit of junk mail, Fiona, but what appears to happen is if you answer one of them, you get put on what's horribly called a suckers list, and then you get more and more and more. And Lillian, over the course of just under a year, got 10,000 of these letters, and this is just some of them here, just extraordinary. She put all her money into it, and then she died of a stroke, which her family are convinced was brought on by the stress of all of this. Let me talk you through just some of them. This letter, for example. You've won a free dream holiday, it says, providing, of course, you send us £14.95. This one, you have won £35,000. All you have to do is answer this very demanding question, 10 plus 25, and send us £20. This one, you've won £169,000. This is a particularly nasty one. This is from a psychic who says she just wants a £17 donation for her trouble. Lillian, over in one day, gave 24 different payments to these companies on her credit card. She eventually started writing things on the letters, ran out of money. £30 needed, no money to send. And in this very heartbreaking letter to one of the companies, she wrote, "At the moment, I'm struggling, so that's why I am writing this letter. I have no ready cash at all." Lillian died in November, her family convinced that this was a big part in it, Fiona.
It's a really sad story, and she'd obviously written that letter to herself in the hope that someone would find it eventually, Jackie. Thanks very much indeed. We're joined by Mike Haley. He's from the Office of Fair Trading. Hi, Mike. Lovely to see you. Horrible, horrible story. I mean, how common is this?
Unfortunately, I'm not shocked anymore by these type of stories because weekly, almost daily, we open our post box at the Office of Fair Trading, the scams team, and we find out of people who have lost tens of thousands of pounds. And, but it could happen to any one of us, because if you just reply just once, you get put on the target list, and the crooks call it a suckers list, because once they know that you're susceptible to these types of letters, as been shown, they send you a mountain of others asking for more and more money. And we know it's a scam because if you won a competition, you never have to pay that money up front to claim your win, £10, £15.
Or they give you those phone numbers that are extortionate, don't they?
Yes, the premium rate numbers, which they say to call 090 numbers, £1.50 a minute. After 10 minutes, £15 being charged to your phone bill.
And it's a really long message as well. I know I've tried it, actually. I've tried it. I mean, we all think, don't we? That's the thing. And it says words like guaranteed and all this stuff, so it sounds as though it's legitimate.
Absolutely, and they use these claims of authority. It looks like it's come from an official win, they say, the official prize giver, and it misleads, and it has to deceive to succeed, because everyone who gets them thinks they are the one winner, and that's how they deceive people into sending their £10 or £15. But we have to be more sceptical about this, but also look out for elderly relatives, vulnerable people. And trying to help them to identify these scams.
All right, well, this is what we're talking to Tracy Evans about now. We told you about Lillian's story earlier on. Tracy Evans is her niece. And Tracy, thanks very much for joining us from your home in Plymouth this morning.
Oh, thank you, Fiona.
Nice to see you there. I don't know if you heard what Mike just said, but, you know, he said that we have to be vigilant about elderly relatives. But did you have any inkling at all that your auntie had this problem?
No, not at all. I mean, I knew she was doing a couple of quizzes and competitions at the end of January, but it wasn't until she died in November that I found this immense amount of mail and realised what she'd actually got herself into.
What did you think when you saw that? I mean, the volume of mail she has there is vast, isn't it? How did you feel when you discovered that?
Absolutely devastated. We still are. I'm holding the tears back now, to be honest. But when I found the mail, I couldn't actually go into the room for almost a week. I just felt really sick about it all.
I bet. And Jackie told us earlier, Tracy, that on one day, her bank statement showed that she paid 24 direct debit payments of between £10 and £99 to different companies, and that is on a single day. And Lillian wasn't, she wasn't well off, was she?
No, she wasn't well off, but she wasn't poor either. She didn't need any of this money, but she just got promised thousands of pounds and she got hooked into it.
Yeah, she looks such a lovely, gentle, kindly lady as well, Tracy. And these companies prey on vulnerable people. I mean, did you notice any change in her personality at all before this happened?
Definitely, yeah. She was, I mean, she was always a fun-loving person, but she did change over a few months. Just various things, you know. She didn't spend much time downstairs with my mum or my family because she was upstairs writing to every single letter that she received.
Yeah. Almost an obsession, Tracy, really. I mean, do you think this contributed to the stroke?
Oh, I definitely do, yeah, definitely. She just wouldn't have got into this. It just wasn't in her character, and this is why I wanted to do, you know, to publicise that something like this can change a whole family's life. I mean, our whole family are devastated, and we'll never get over this.
No, I can hear you are, Tracy. Thanks very much for joining us this morning to let other people know how far this can go and what these people are doing. I mean, Mike, you said earlier on they've got a list called the suckers list. I mean, that just tells you about the mentality of these people. But how can people avoid getting sucked into these scams?
Well, we can all register with what's called the mailing preference service. That will stop junk mail from legitimate companies, and that way you can tell those companies don't sign up to the mailing preference service are likely to be doing unfair business practices. So then you can just throw this stuff away. But obviously they're targeting people who are perhaps having problems at the perhaps getting elderly and don't recognise that these are all scams. And so and then they send so many straight away because they want to take advantage, and that's why you get hundreds of these letters, one after the other. So you can register with the preference service, and you can also just look out for friends and family who are getting these mail from overseas and tell them it's a scam, don't send money off.
All right, and if you get them yourself, just tear them up. Thanks very much indeed, Mike. Thank you.
Just gone 8:15 this morning, still to come. Giving the gift of life. It's an update on what happened when one woman gave her friend a kidney for Christmas. True friendship. .21 is the time. It's Monday morning. Morning to you. We're going to bring you an update in a couple of minutes on the story of a woman who gave her friend a kidney for Christmas. I think
she didn't buy it.
No, she didn't wrap it up either, but she did it. Amazing story.
Yeah, but right now, let's see where Keith is. What are you up to now? Way!
Hey to you, I'm getting set for a week on the road, the Doorstep Challenge, and I'm here in Hot Whistle, the centre of the UK, so I can launch off everywhere. We proved earlier on this morning at the laundrette that that is the centre of Hot Whistle itself. Local businesses galore. There's all the people queuing up for the Chinese, the Lucky Palace. Doesn't open till 9 o'clock. And look, local business people! This man, what's your name?
Joseph.
He's from the local paper, and this is the town crier. Go on, do it.
Oh, yeah, it's Monday!
Ooh, don't come here on a Tuesday. This is the local businesses. What's yours?
Truly Scrumptious Sandwich Bar.
Oh, lovely. And who are you?
Central Good.
Great. And over here, this is the local butcher. Her husband's called Sam. This is called Ella. Sam and Ella. OK, £10,000 we've got to give away. What would you do with 10 grand?
Buy Mum a carpet.
Buy a carpet?
Not for my mum.
Oh, for your mum. That's very kind-hearted. What would you do with £10,000? It's your big chance. It could be knocking on your door tomorrow. Here come the competition details. Well, hey! £10,000 could be yours with today's competition. That's right. GMTV is giving away £10,000. So for your chance to get your hands on the cash, all you have to do is answer this question. Singer Tom Jones and Charlotte Church are from which country? A. Wales, B. Scotland, or C. England? That's the question, and this is how you enter.
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149. Or you can enter via the website.
I'm in the centre of the UK. Who knows where I'm going to be tomorrow? I could be knocking on your door. And look, smile over there. Big picture for the local paper. I'll catch you tomorrow with a cheque. Take care. Goodbye.
It's a big event when Keith comes into town,
Rock and
especially if he
roll,
comes to your door tomorrow morning, £10,000. Right, 8:23 is the time. Now, just before Christmas, we featured a story that really was a true testament to friendship. It concerns Saroj Sharma, who had to endure 10 hours of kidney dialysis every single day until her best friend Dorothy decided to give her the ultimate Christmas present, one of her kidneys. And we spoke to them just 3 days before the operation.
12 months ago, I decided myself to take it forward and go and see if I could indeed give a kidney. And we matched, and we're a good match, which is incredible. And I'm very happy to do what I'm doing.
It was just fantastic. I just haven't got the words to say. It was like humanity, you know, it's a wonderful gift from humanity from my friend Dot. That there's so many good people still around in the world, and Dot is one of them.
Isn't she just? And that was before, obviously, and I'm pleased to say the transplant has been a success. We're catching up with them now. There's Saroj and Dorothy, live from Telford, with huge, great smiles on their faces. Morning, ladies.
Morning.
Morning. So nice to see you. And first of all, Saroj, we have to ask how you are.
I'm not too bad today, as I said earlier on, that I'm taking each day as it comes, and I'm hoping that my health is improving day by day and I'm getting stronger.
Yeah. You feel that it is, though, Saroj, yeah?
I do, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better than I have done, yes.
No. And what's it like not having to endure dialysis all the time?
Absolutely wonderful. As I said, 17th of December was the last time that I dialysed, and it's been 3 months. And it's just as though a restriction has been lifted off my head.
It must
and
be.
I'm getting back to normal.
Yeah. Well, Dorothy, you've given her a great sense of freedom as well as a lease of life there. And not without cost to you, though. How are you feeling health-wise?
I feel very well, thank you, Fiona.
Oh, you're looking very well, Dorothy, I have to say.
Thank you.
You really are. And so you have one kidney left now. How does that work then? How have they told you that that works? Does that compensate for the one that's missing now?
What happens is that one kidney needs to grow in size, not to twice the size, but in size to take on the work of the one that's been taken away. Right. And that's hence the time that I'm off work now, for me to regain my strength, which I am doing. Yeah. And I hope to go back to work at the beginning of April.
Oh, right. So yeah, it's about a 3-month recuperation process then, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
And do you think you'll be ready to go?
That's right.
Will you be ready to go back to work when the time comes, you think, Dorothy?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Good. Now, if you had your time over again, would you do the same thing, knowing what you know now?
I would. Yes, I would. I'd do it all again. Yeah. Except if I did this again for Saroj, I'd end up dead, wouldn't I?
Yeah, no,
But
don't
I
do it
would.
again, whatever you do, Dorothy. We don't want to be responsible for that.
No, I was going to say, it feels like it never happened.
Oh, good.
I feel totally just the same.
Good. Well, that's really good news. And Saroj, we hope you continue to improve. At least you're free from the dialysis anyway, which is, as I say, must be a true sense of liberation. And it's also important, isn't it, Saroj, to raise awareness, as Afro-Caribbean and Asians are 4 times more likely to have kidney disease, apparently, due to high levels of diabetes.
Yes, and this is the reasons why we're here, is to raise that awareness and to emphasise that race is not an issue. in donation of kidneys or any donation, and the barriers that people are thinking or perhaps perceiving are not there, because as I've said in an article that we did locally, that underneath, we scratch the surface, take off the layers, we're all the same underneath that. So please come forward if anybody has an inclination or a thought or a seed. Come forward and investigate and take it on board. As you can see today, we are still here, live and kicking, and we are both well.
And the firmest of friends. Thank you very much indeed. You're an inspiration to us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To the
Thank you.
surgeon who did it as well.
Yeah,
Amazing. Almost
absolutely.
miracle workers, aren't they? OK, in a couple of minutes, we're going to be meeting the man who put the wind up Brad Pitt. Now, Brad was scared of Brian Cox, and with a face like that, you can imagine. They appeared together in the film Troy. Brian's here to talk about his new film. It's called Ringer, and we'll talk more about it in a couple of minutes.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello, good morning. Wrap up warm this week. It's a very cold week. We saw some snow overnight, more snow on the way today, particularly for central and northern areas of Scotland, down towards the south as well, eventually reaching northern parts of England overnight tonight, then the North Midlands as well as northern parts of Wales. But for the time being, central and eastern areas getting away with a dry and fine morning with some sunshine. Watch out for the ice. That rain gradually moving in, then rain turning to snow, as you can see here, through the afternoon with some brighter weather to follow later on. I'll be back tomorrow. You too, sorry.
Yeah, or even just me.
Yeah, so just you.
I might have two characters, who knows. Thank you very much indeed. Now, if I mention Dumb and Dumber and there's something about Mary, you'll probably get an idea about where a new film by the writers of those two might be heading. But when it involves one of Britain's classic actors, Brian Cox, it's anyone's guess, really. Brian is here to talk about his new film. It's The Ringer. Very good morning to you, Brian.
Good morning.
The Farrelly brothers.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Really left field sort of film.
They're extraordinary. They, you know, they were asked by the Special Olympic Committee to write this film, because they've always, in their films, they've always employed. You'll see in every film there's always a mentally challenged, or one or two mentally challenged, what they call mentally challenged. I hate that word. Actors.
It's hard to know what to say.
It is difficult to say. It's certainly better than what they used to call it.
That's right.
And they're very, very conscious of that. So the Special Olympics wanted a film made that no longer looked down, not sort of were mawkishly sentimental about that.
This is an optimistic and a positive film.
And also they feel that they've got a sense of humour. And they love the jokes, you see. So the Farrelly brothers, of course, that's the one thing that they can do in excess.
Yes, certainly. And a very brief outline before we have a quick look at the
well, it's about a young guy called Johnny Knoxville who falls on... well, it's a long, complicated story, but he needs to find money very quickly. His uncle is a gambler. I play his uncle. And I suggest that he enters into the Special Olympics as a Special Olympiad and pretends that he's mentally challenged.
Which he's not.
Which he's not.
And we'll have a quick look at the clip. Here we are. A lot of Danny DeVito and a hugely animated character about you, and the hair's up here as well.
The hair's up there. Actually, the film was made, I was actually 50 pounds heavier when I did that film. And
2003.
In fact, I did it just after I did Troy, and it was a heck of a contrast to Troy.
Now, you must stop intimidating these Hollywood superstars.
Yeah,
What's the story? You intimidated Brad Pitt.
No, it was, I don't think I intimidated Brad Pitt.
He says you did.
Oh, he said that?
It was him.
What does he say?
He says that he's a bit scared acting with somebody who's won 2 Oliviers, played all the major roles before the age of 44, has won all the rest of the awards you won.
He did very well last night. He's regarded as the 30th best actor in the world.
Where were you?
I wasn't there.
That's ridiculous.
But no, what is interesting is that about Brad is that he's you know, his real thing is he loves architecture, and he really wants to. He really would have liked to be an architect, and he kind of comes into movies. So there's an element of Brad which is very different, which was perfect for the part of Achilles, because Achilles is different. Yes. I think he's a really, really nice man, and I think he's actually a really talented man. But he was a little kind of. You know, there was Peter O'Toole, there was myself, there was Brendan Gleeson. We'd all done classical work. So we wear these costumes, we know how to wear these costumes. So we walk on the set, not looking anything like I look now. And Brad was very nervous, and he came on and we did a little bit of work, and then we decided to break for a day until he recovered.
I can just imagine. That's absolutely lovely. Do you know, we could talk for hours, but we've got to go from one Dundee native to another, in actual fact. It's called The Ringer. It features Brian Cox. It's pretty good fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in this morning.
Poor Brad. I'm not going to be back till Wednesday then on that way of working. I'm taking a day to recover.
Yes, exactly right. Here she is, from Dundee, Lorraine Kelly.
LK Today, sponsored by New Dove Cream Wool Bar. Beautiful skin at any age.
Hello there, good morning to you. We're talking this morning about skinny jeans. Now, from London to New York, designers are getting rid of those drain pipes and bringing in a look that's more baggy. I like the baggy look. So even the A-listers are behind the times. And talking of fashion, supermodel Rachel Hunter is giving up some of her old clothes, and she'll be telling us why she wants you to do exactly the same in just a minute. And Emmerdale's Bob Hope is in for a shock when son Jamie comes back and betrays him. Tony Audenshaw and Alec Carter are here to tell us more about that. They look as if they're having a hoedown. It's very good. Also, Sonia finally chooses Naomi over her husband Martin. Tina Baker is here with all the latest on that. Now, we're asking you this morning, is it the end of skinny jeans? New York fashion designer Marc Jacobs says loose is the way forward. We want to know what you think. Are you a full-bodied woman and glad that skinny jeans are on their way out, or do you think that they are the best things ever to happen to denim? We want to hear from you, so get in touch with us. If you think skinny jeans should stay, text A to 84070. If you think you're fed up with them, they should go. All you have to do is text B 84070. Text costs 25 pence plus your usual text rate. You can vote at the website gm.tv, and we'll be testing them out on women later on in the programme. There we are. Now, if you want to ditch your skinny jeans free wardrobe, you could be helping a fantastic cause, because Rachel Hunter, she's fronting the Give Get campaign, which encourages people to recycle their unwanted items to raise money for cancer survivors. And she joins me now to tell me more. It's really good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And what a great idea, because you know what? This is a time of year when we really should be having a clear out.
I know. I mean, usually this time of year you do the spring cleaning, even though the weather is not calling for it whatsoever.
No, it's not. I know, it's crazy.
But I mean, you know, you always have those things that are stuffed in the back of your, your wardrobe, and whether it's jeans or
whatever,
something. And I've managed to find plenty of stuff in the back of mine, which there's some cashmere sweaters and jeans and evening tops and stuff. And so, yeah, when I read the statistics of 1 in 3 people at some stage get affected with cancer, and then finding out about, the Give Get campaign, and all people have to do is go in and get one of the bags and fill it up and take it into the TK Maxx store. And the Cancer Research UK are looking to raise around about $2 million from this. But it's funny, actually, if every adult in England gave a piece of clothing, they would raise around $120 million.
That's not bad. So everybody in the UK has got to get involved in this. If you can get out the door in Scotland for the snow, you can do this.
Get the snow plough out.
You get a bag from TK Maxx. You can get that from there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then just fill it up with. And we want good stuff. We want really good stuff. Maybe things. You know the way that we've all got. Yeah, we've all got in the back of our wardrobe that thing that we bought it in the January sales, and I've got so many things that.
On it,
I'm going to slim into this, or lime green might be my colour one day.
Yeah.
Get all these disasters.
Absolutely.
But they're good things, and somebody might like them. And then what happens to the clothes after that?
Then they get sold on, and that's how they raise enough money for the situation. Hopefully in the next 2 generations are looking at hopefully finding a cure. I mean, it's unbelievable. We were just talking about it before. I don't know whether it's because you're getting older that it affects you more and you care more about it, but it's a frightening disease.
Anybody has not been touched in some way by cancer, whether they've been, they've had cancer themselves and are living with cancer, or somebody close to them.
Absolutely.
It touches everyone. And that, presumably, that's why you wanted to get involved in this, because I'm sure you're asked to put your name to to a lot of charities and causes, but this one in particular you wanted to do?
Yes, absolutely. My grandmother actually had a brain tumour, and she died when I was just started modelling up in New York, and it's hard. I mean, and not only that, then you start hearing friends, and then you hear about melanoma, and I mean, just with what's happened with lung cancer, and I don't know, it just seems to affect everybody, like you said, at some stage. Whether it's distant or close.
And it is hard. And then you kind of think to yourself, well, what can I do? What can one individual
Mm-hmm.
do? And that's actually what you can do is stuff a bag full of clothes.
Yeah,
it's
simple
not
as that,
hard, you
no.
know, it's not difficult. I think we can all do it. And there's TK Maxxes all over the country.
Absolutely.
So you can get in touch with them.
Definitely.
And it's a really, really good idea. It
Yes,
really
it
is. It's a
is.
cracking
It
idea.
is.
So you yourself, you're living, because you were saying dollars there, so you're into the American mindset. You're living over in LA now and sort of just going between the two.
Yeah, I live over there and I do come back here quite a bit for work and stuff. I mean, I do enjoy getting back here.
There's you and the kids.
I
God,
know.
they're getting so big.
It's
They're getting so tall.
Renee is now like 5'8".
She's beautiful.
And she's 14 in June and Liam's 11 and he's... But it's getting harder and harder. I don't know why as they get older it's getting harder and harder for me to leave them and come over and leave them for like 4 days. And
that's tough.
Yeah, and they're going through tough years too, you know. But all you can do is listen and be there for them, that's for sure.
She's stunning. Do you think she might go into modelling?
Doesn't want to have anything to do with it.
No, she doesn't. Are you quite
Not
relieved
at all.
about that?
Mother like daughter. Doesn't want anything to do with it. Thinks it's the most ridiculous thing. But here I am 20 years later.
I think that's quite good though. That she's
no,
not
it is.
been...
She's kind of like this little, like, I don't know, hippie. I shouldn't really talk about her because she hates me talking about her, so I really shouldn't talk about her.
She's
But
in LA.
she's yeah, she's an incredible artist, and she puts together great, you know, pieces on her laptop and stuff. And
That's really
and
good.
yeah,
So she's very creative.
and he's
Creative
very
hobby.
sports orientated.
Yeah.
So
They're
I'm
good
really
kids.
lucky. They're amazing, and I
Very
miss
good
them.
kids. I
Miss them
bet
a
you
lot.
do. And I have to say congratulations on doing, which is very difficult, the whole civilised divorce thing, where you're all together and it's all fine and everybody gets on.
Yeah.
You're finally, because it's hard, it's tough,
It
and
is,
you've
it's so
managed
funny
it.
'cause it's like so many years ago.
I know, and you're over it.
It's almost a generation ago now. No, yeah, it's like 10 years ago. Yeah, everybody's just getting on with their lives and stuff, and the most important thing is, you know, Renee and Liam are going through teenage years, and you know, that's my main...
Oh, absolutely. I can't believe I always think of them as like 5
I know.
and
So
3.
do I. I still think I'm 5.
Well, listen, it's great to see you. Really good to see you. You should stay and talk to us about. We're talking about jeans and fashion later. It's very funny, and it's
I know.
It's good
I just
fun.
saw some of those. As long as they don't get to that high-waisted like 80s thing.
Oh no, we didn't like that.
Yeah, no,
that
we
didn't
don't want
suit
that.
anybody.
No,
I don't even think that
very
suit
unattractive.
You can wear most things. But look, if you've got, what we'll do is we'll put loads of information on this, Rachel, on our website. So if you want to know anything about the campaign and what you can do to help, how you can get a hold of those bags and where your nearest TK Maxx is, go to the website gm.tv. It's all there. All the information is there. Right, competition time now. We have got £50,000 to give away this week, £10,000 a day. Keith is standing by in Halt Whistle. What a lovely place. Halt Whistle this morning. Hello, Flower.
Very good morning to you, Hot Whistle, the centre of the UK. But we proved a fact this morning that Hot Whistle might be the centre, but the real centre is this laundrette here. But come here, look, put a Kelly's eye on this. That washing machine there, we measured it, is actually the genuine real centre. And a fascinating fact for you, Poncho from the television series Chips actually broke down here and he donated this shirt to the laundrette. And very quickly, if you're missing a sock, they are here. But more importantly, right now, your chance to win £10,000! OK, there's me checkbook. I could be knocking on your door tomorrow. Here comes this morning's competition question. Go!
Well, hey! £10,000 could be yours with today's competition. That's right, GMTV is giving away £10,000. So for your chance to get your hands on the cash, all you have to do is answer this question. Singer Tom Jones and Charlotte Church are from which country? A. Wales, B. Scotland, or C. England? That's the question, and this is how you enter.
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149. Or you can enter via the website.
And looking at the old Cheggers timepiece there, you've not got a lot of time before the lines close. You could be a Chegg winner on GMTV. 090 68 100 100. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, Cheggers. I wish you could bottle that energy and sell it. You'd make a fortune. Thank you, love. Right, still to come this morning, family reunion turns to lies and betrayal in this week's Emmerdale. Actors Tony Audenshaw and Alex Carter are here with all the latest on that. And the debate this morning, we're having skinny jeans on their way out. What do we think? These celebs love wearing theirs.
Dove Cream Oil Bar. Beautiful skin at any age.
Hello, welcome back. Now, viewer Vicky was addicted to 12 cups of coffee a day. She suffered horribly from IBS. We're going to find out if Patrick Holford has cured her through allergy testing and changing her diet. And it's family infighting in Emmerdale when Jamie Hope cons his dad Bob out of money. They're written tootin' guys. Actors Tony Adenshaw and Alec Carter here are going to tell us lots more about that very soon. Now, the thong has officially gone, hurrah. But now, well, skinny jeans look as if they're out as well, and it's our debate this morning. Fashion camps bitterly divided, but we want to know what you think. So if you're hanging on to your skinny jeans and think they should stay, you can text A to 84070. If you think they're on the way out and you're happy, then text B to 84070, or you can vote online, gm.tv, if you so wish. Now, there's been a lot of debate about allergy testing recently, so we sent nutritionist Patrick Holdford the challenge of curing 4 viewers of debilitating symptoms ranging from migraines to PMT. Just a minute, we'll see how Vicky Foster-Lewis from Chichester got on. First, though, let's take a look at how she was when we met her first 7 weeks ago.
I've suffered from irritable bowel syndrome for the past 10 years. It can have quite a big impact on your life. You can be walking along quite happily. All of a sudden you're doubled over with stomach pains, almost as if somebody's stabbing you.
She doesn't look after herself as well as she should. She can get to the end of the day and realise she hasn't eaten anything.
So I have 2 children, Megan, who is 10, and McKenna, who is 4 years old. I do worry sometimes that the low mood could affect them, but I'm a person that's a bit of a control freak, really, so I managed to disguise it. Welcome to my kitchen. This is my confession time. I am rather partial to coffee, probably about 12 cups a day. Also, having the 2 children, it's very much convenience food in this house. We all adore pizza, chicken nuggets, sausages, chips. If I show you my fridge, this shows another major weakness of mine, chocolate.
I do worry about Vicky because she's very conscious of her weight and, you know, sometimes she obviously doesn't eat enough.
Can you give up chocolate? Can you give up pizza? Can you give up burgers? No! But you're going to give up the rest of the things to try and help me, so we can fix Mummy, we can mend her. I've taken antispasmatics for the irritable bowel syndrome. They don't seem to work. I'm at present on Prozac for the low moods, which is helping, but I prefer to find a natural way and avoid the drugs.
Well, Vicky is here now, along with nutritionist Patrick Holford. 12 cups of coffee a day. Ooh, that had to go, didn't it? That
It did have to go, yeah.
Really, really did. Now, we obviously tested you and we found an allergy. It was to egg white, wasn't it?
Yeah, an allergy to egg white and a minor reaction to shellfish and mollusks. So that's like prawns and mussels.
Yeah. So we got rid of all
So
that.
they had to go, because with irritable bowel syndrome, very, very common cause is allergy.
Right.
But another common cause is too much coffee. And you never know which.
Oh, my goodness me. So there we are. Now, egg white, you think to yourself, oh, well, yeah, it's all right, you know, egg white. But it's in so many things. Bad things, naughty things.
Absolute nightmare.
So you're having to read all the labels?
Oh,
yeah.
the first time I went food shopping, my husband was going absolutely ballistic with me. He said, I thought we were only coming food shopping, we'd only be here for about half an hour. 2 hours later, we came home, because I was there looking at all the packets.
Of course, of course. But have you found a difference?
Yeah.
You have?
A big difference.
So you feel better about the moods because you were feeling a bit low?
Yeah, I've got more energy in things now. I used to take a lot of things to heart before and get quite paranoid about things, whereas now I'm saying to Patrick I'm very laid back.
Oh, that's
which
good.
Is,
Maybe that's
really
got something
good.
to do with the fact that you're not totally wired because you're not taking 12 cups of coffee. What did you use as a substitute then for coffee?
I've drunk rather a lot of the herbal teas and things.
Right, but that's okay, isn't it?
No, it's very good.
That's fine.
Yeah. In fact, we've got a few of the alternatives here.
Yeah.
I think you quite like this, the rooibos tea.
Oh, it's lovely.
That's really nice.
So this red bush or rooibos tea, it's very nice with milk. It's probably the closest thing to a cup of tea.
It is. It's really comforting.
But without
I like it
caffeine.
a lot, actually.
And then there are a lot of coffee alternatives.
Yeah.
This one...
The Caro's nice.
Yeah, that's very nice. And although there is caffeine in green tea,
Yeah.
there's a lot less.
Okay, so it's okay. It's all about cutting down, isn't it? And, and cutting back and being a bit more sensible. Supplements, what sort of supplements have you been taking?
So many of them.
You're rattling.
I am rattling, yeah.
I mean, I gave Vicky a good multi, some vitamin C, essential fats, but also when you have a lot of adrenaline and I mean, we didn't mention the cigarettes because just before this, Vicky had also stopped smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Right, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well done. That's very good.
So, you know, low mood,
yeah.
not sleeping, lots of stimulants.
Right.
And sometimes your adrenal glands are sort of exhausted. And adrenaline is actually made from an amino acid or a type of protein called tyrosine. And there are some herbs like ginseng is one, rhodiola is another.
Right.
So I gave Vicky a supplement that contains these sort of natural adrenal support.
Okay.
And they can help get you back on track. And your mood is...
Moods are better.
Yeah,
you're sleeping
so
better.
much better.
Sleeping as well.
Yeah, I mean, this was a bit of a problem at one stage because I was falling asleep all the time. I was always so tired. But Patrick said it's the fact that I was running on adrenaline so much before, and it's my body saying, hey.
Yes, repair yourself a little bit. You got headaches when you gave up the coffee, but that's very natural, isn't it? So you just have to work through that, and that will go.
Yeah.
So that's gone now.
Yeah, that has gone now. Skin is so much better. I've been using these fantastic creams, a vitamin A cream and an antioxidant Environ creams, and they have been absolutely amazing.
Well, you
really
look better, I have to say. You're just looking at you.
Yeah.
Your skin looks better, your eyes are sparkling, your hair's better.
We ran a health test on you, and this is a questionnaire you fill out online, and originally your health score was 40%. That was 7 weeks ago. And now we've rerun it, and it's now 67%.
Oh, that's good.
So you're nearly halfway to 100%.
That's really good,
health.
in just a matter of weeks,
Just 7
that you
weeks.
can do that. Now, can you keep up this regime?
I'm going to.
You're going to try. You're going to really try.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And then we've said sort of like May time, I can start thinking about introducing some of the foods that I was allergic to back in to see if I'm able to have them now.
Great to see that it's worked out, Patrick. Well done. Another good result. Thank you very much indeed, and good luck with it. Really good luck with it. Now, there's a surprise in tonight's episode of Emmerdale when Bob Hope's son Jamie makes, well, an unexpected return to the village.
Jamie! Oh, is it really you? Well, last time I looked, aye. Come for return match,
Can we not just hug or something, Dad?
Yay!
Bought some bags, I see.
Oh, of course he has, yeah. He's come to see his old dad.
Who's in the process of trying to become a new dad. He can't stay.
I'll sort something out. So, to what do we owe this pleasure?
Well, I was over here on business. Just thought I'd pop in and see the folks.
Fantastic. Sit down. Hey, wait till you see the wedding photos. Viv looks gorgeous.
Oh, I bet she does.
She's smooth, just like his dad.
Well, Tony Audenshaw plays Bob, of course, and Alec Carter plays Jamie. Here now. Great to see you both.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Is this a kind of like cowboy theme? Is there any reason for this, or are you just kind of wanting to?
We wanted to dress as firemen, but they didn't have any costumes.
Oh, I would have loved you two to come as firemen. That would have really made my Monday. I would have been very happy. But cowboys are the next best thing.
Yeah.
I think
don't
it's
look camp,
very
do
good.
we?
Yeah,
No,
the
you
horses
don't. No,
made a
you
bit of a
don't.
mess outside, though.
You don't look camp. You look very, very, very lovely. So, first time we saw you, you were punching your dad. Your character wasn't it? Because you came to the wedding.
Yeah, I did.
And there was all the
indeed.
mix-up and the misunderstanding.
Yeah, in the reception, I just kind of stormed in and got the wrong end of the stick and gave him a slap.
And then it was okay after that. It was all fine.
Yeah.
You can't have a wedding in Emmerdale and it cannot go smoothly. It's got to all go horribly wrong. Now, he's a cheeky chappy and he's quite endearing, but there's a bit of a problem, isn't there? Because he is a bit of a con man in a way. We don't want to give too much away of the storyline, but suffice to say, he is going to try and cheat.
Yeah, well, it'd make it interesting, wouldn't it? I think he doesn't really feel guilty because he hasn't really seen his dad.
No, he's not. He's not been there. He's got children and wives scattered all over the globe.
Yeah, he's got 1 million kids, Bob.
Yes. I bet he's lost track.
I think the thing is, though, that Jamie's the one who's most like him.
Yeah, that's very true, actually.
Yes, there's going to be quite
Chip
a bit
off
of
the old
conflict.
block.
Yeah,
Chip
he
off
is.
the old block.
Yeah.
He does try to sort of con you out some money eventually. That's what's going to happen. But we won't say how, because it's just fun to watch. It's just really fun to watch. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I am enjoying it actually.
Yeah, is it good?
It's quite different because I used to be in another.
I know.
Soap,
Yeah,
so
you were in
it's quite-
Hollyoaks.
Yeah, it's interesting going into another thing, but yeah, I'm really trying to get to grips with it. I'm enjoying it. But it helps. It helps because they're already in there. You know, the whole family.
I know. There was you with all the Hollyoaks gang.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good show. It's a really good show. And was that your first job?
No, it wasn't
No?
actually. I did a show called Where the Heart Is as well.
Oh, so you did?
Before that, when I was about 16,
So
17.
you did, because you've really grown up.
Are we flirting?
Of course I remember. I loved Where the Heart Is. That is just like, it's just like having a big glass of cocoa and a chocolate biscuit.
Yeah, it
Of a
is.
Sunday. You like that? So you're looking very trim because you're running the marathon again, aren't you?
Yeah, 6 weeks away now.
Now,
yeah.
what was your time last year?
I did 3 hours and 3 minutes last year.
That is
3 hours and 4 seconds the year before.
Astonishing. That's astonishing. Look at that.
Oh, hey!
You really did. You did so well. You were finished and had a shower and were having a gin and tonic, and I was probably only about halfway round.
How did you find it? Because I didn't see it afterwards.
I was really, really struggling.
tough.
It was hard. It was hard. I've sensationally retired. I'm still going to do the moonwalk. You know, the walk that you do, the 26-mile walk, but the running's a killer. Absolute killer. How do you get the time to train?
I train early. I tend to drive
Do you get up
over,
really
train
early?
at 6 o'clock, go into work, and then train afterwards as well.
That is a disciplined
Yeah,
man.
once you get into the swing of things, the main thing for me really this time has been my diet, in that my wife stopped eating all the rubbish and stopped drinking alcohol about a month ago, and I joined her, and I feel so much better. I've just dropped off
You
as well.
have actually. You've lost lots of weight.
But I'm drinking 82 cups of coffee every morning.
Totally buy
Yeah.
Are you going to try and get under 3 hours?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm running with the Banana Army again with their Leukemia Research Fund. We've got a great new race as well this year in June, where I'm dressing as a banana along with 9 other people off the telly, and everybody chases us through a park in London. That's at the end of June.
Is that just for fun? That's
Banana
not
Man
anything.
chase.
That's really good.
Yeah,
That's
should be a
great
corker.
fun. Oh, that would be excellent. You're still playing in the band?
Still playing in the band, yeah. We've got some. In fact, they were on in the wedding episode as
That's
the
right.
ringtone 5.
That's right, that was funny.
Yeah.
See how you can bring your work and your hobbies and everything all
Yeah,
comes
it's
together.
nice.
And is this true that you're the announcer at your football club? You do the half-time announcement?
No, I didn't. I used to
thought
help
you
out with
did.
the scoreboard at Oldham Athletic.
That was it.
But
He's
my
always
best
lying.
mate.
He's always
No, I'm always
scoring
lying in interviews and stuff. No, but my best mate does.
That'd be
Broadie.
great fun. I'd love to do that.
Yeah,
do you
no, I
know?
wanna get in on that.
And play the records at half-time
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
that. Brilliant. Good stuff. Well, look, we'll be watching tonight, as always, 7 o'clock tonight, of course, because tonight's great. We've got Emmerdale, and then we've got Double Corrie, and then there's a
don't
wee bit
bother with
of
that.
EastEnders in there as well. It's fantastic.
No, I'll just watch Emmerdale.
Oh, but we
Switch
do.
off,
We always
sorry.
watch Emmerdale anyway. So thank you for getting dressed up for me. Next time, get dressed up as firemen, though. That'll be better.
Excellent.
But, you know, it's fine. And good luck with the marathon.
Yeah, thanks.
Really, that's astonishing.
As long as I beat Gingerbread Man.
You
He's my
are-
main rival.
You'll be fine. I got overtaken by 3 Cornish pasties, so I'm just rubbish. Thank you, guys. Cheers. Right, still to come this morning, Tina has got all the latest on the soaps, and it's the news that Mike Baldwin's family have been dreading. Some astonishing performances in the soap. And EastEnders, well, Naomi and Sonia, things getting serious between the two of them, as Martin really lost her for good. Meanwhile, cover your ears over in Emmerdale, find out why Louise is singing and heading for a fall.
What do you think?
Tina's got all of that later on. Now, all morning, we have been asking you about the future of skinny jeans. Oh, it's a hot topic. Joining me now, fashion editors Alison Tay, a self-confessed lover of skinny jeans, and Aisling McCloy, who has fully embraced the new baggy denim trend. And Rachel Hunter is here as well. Thank you for staying on. It's really good to see you. Because we need your judgment, because you know about these things. First, though, the results of what you think at home, it's pretty close. 48% of you think skinny jeans days are numbered. 52% want them to stay. That's pretty half and half. Are we surprised by that, do you think?
I'm actually quite surprised, to be honest. I think a lot of the viewers out there are really after something a bit more comfortable, and I genuinely believe baggy jeans are going to be huge, especially this summer.
Right, because for why? Just because women do feel more comfortable in them.
Comfortable, and you know what? It's great to be able to go in at last into the changing room and pull on a pair of jeans that actually fit.
Yeah,
it's
that's
great.
true. It's true. That's true, actually, because only certain people can get away with skinny jeans, don't you think?
I don't think you have to be a size 8 to wear them.
Right.
I mean, I think it's really great because a lot of the skinny styles these days have got 2% lycra, so they've got a little bit of stretch in them.
Okay, but in some of our cases we need an awful lot of stretch. That's the only thing. But you think anybody can wear them, really?
Definitely.
Honestly?
Definitely. There was a pair by Lee modelled on a pair that Marilyn Monroe wore. I think we'll be seeing them later on. She's the quintessential curvy girl.
That's
Can't
true.
deny it.
That's true.
I think that's all very well, but I don't think anybody actually feels that comfortable in them. I just hate that feeling of they're kind of stuck to you, they're kind of glued to your legs.
Right.
And Marc Jacobs had his spring-summer fashion show in New York, and all the catwalk models were walking down in the baggy jeans, and they looked fantastic. They looked really good.
They're like Rachel, they can wear anything.
Well,
For preference, Rachel, what would you wear? Would you be wearing the skinny ones or the kind of ones that are a bit comfortable?
Well, I think the poll pretty much says that all, is that I think whatever suits you, really.
Exactly.
I think if you like the skinny ones, go for the skinny ones. If you like the bigger ones, you know, go for the bigger ones. I don't know. Fashion is like this weird thing right now. You know, it's like a lucky dip. I mean, you can, you know, wear pretty much whatever you want to.
We shouldn't be dictated, should we? You know, it's that thing of skinny jeans are in, so we've all got to wear them. That's daft if you don't suit you.
I'm petrified when you first see something new come out.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? I mean. I just don't want the high-waisted to come back.
No,
that would be like the mile between like your
it doesn't work
thing to your waist. Yeah, no,
we don't like that.
Would be disastrous.
Well, we can see there we've got the two different kinds. We've got the skinny model, the skinny jeans, I should say, and the baggy jeans. I like them both. I think they look pretty good, and I think it depends where you're going, basically, doesn't it? It depends what you're doing. That's for sure.
I think what's really important though is now baggy jeans, you can actually sort of sex them up a bit, make them look a bit more glamorous.
Okay.
Add the high heels.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Well, you've done that for us, haven't we? Because we've got some. We've got some of the girls that work here have been decided that they're going to be models for us, which I think is very, very good of them. So let's have our first one. I'm not sure who's coming out first.
It's actually, we've got Karen coming up.
Karen. Let's have a look at Karen.
We've decided to have a look at her. She said she couldn't get into skinny jeans. So we've put her in some skinny jeans today.
Right.
Now these ones are Lee, the ones you were talking about, especially for curvy girls. And I think she actually feels great in it. We've paired it with a warehouse top, which is a bit baggier.
Right.
That comes in at £30. The Lee jeans themselves are £60, but you'll find them actually on sale in quite a few places at the moment as well.
Right. Okay. Karen, what do you think?
I think they're great. And
do you like them? Do you feel comfy?
I never thought I'd be able to get into them, and I feel so comfortable and think the outfit looks great.
It does actually. Can I say, I would like to see you in boots. I think the boots
I
really
think with the boots,
especially at the moment when the weather's so rubbish.
Yeah.
maybe white shoes aren't so good. But I think, and if you feel good in them, that's the main thing.
Yeah,
Don't feel
great.
too kind of trussed up. You feel
no, I think
with
with the baggy top sort of covers all my insecurities.
Oh, that's great, love. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great.
That's good. Deborah, what's Deborah got on?
We haven't got Deborah, we've got Loretta actually.
Oh, okay.
Now, Loretta is coming out, she's in quite a casual, relaxed, quite the full-on baggy jeans. This is great for the weekend.
Oh, you look adorable in that. You look so sweet. That is lovely.
These jeans are from Miss 60, a little bit more expensive at £90, but they're just so comfortable and look great with a little pair of Converse.
Oh, they're cheeky. Now, what do you think of those ones? Because they're nice and baggy. Would you be giving up your skinny jeans for those?
I don't think I would actually. I think they're great for a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
But maybe you couldn't really wear them to work and expect to make an impact in them like you could in your skinnies. But they look great on them.
Yeah, I think they look really, really good. A bit expensive, but you know.
A bit expensive. There are cheaper ones on the market as well, though.
Do you like them?
I love them.
Yeah,
they're
you
so
feel
comfortable. Really, really like them a lot. So
they're good,
I'd
and you
wear
can wear them
work.
to work. It's fine.
Exactly.
We're in you like you. It's good. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you very much.
And then we finally got Karen.
Right.
She's going for a little bit more of a sexy look.
Oh, let's see our Karen. Let's have a look. Here she is. Looking extremely hot, I have to say. She is a very beautiful girl, but she looks amazing.
Now,
That's
these
lovely.
are actually boyfriend jeans.
Okay.
Now, these are taking off. A lot of them are called boyfriend jeans because they look like you've just slung on your boyfriend jeans.
You do.
But with a nice little heel, nice sexy top, you know, you're set to go for the clubs.
Oh, our Karen looks lovely. They're a little bit Huckleberry Finn, might I say. You know, you could paint the white picket fence with them, but that's all right. You wear them well. Do you like them? What do you think?
I must admit, I wasn't going to go for baggy jeans, but once I put them on, they're really comfortable. And you can wear them down and up as well. So
I know, that's true. You can unroll them to get rid of that sort of look. I love that top. Where's that top from? It's beautiful.
That's from Warehouse, actually.
I really like that.
Lovely.
It's nice because that's...
It's nice because it sort of covers any, you know, excess in the front, but it's
not that
slim
Karen's got any of
fitting.
that, but no, that's good.
It's also slim fitting as well, so very flattering.
Excellent, Karen, thank you very much indeed. Thanks to all our girls. Basically, wear what you want. Wear what makes you happy. Is that not true?
Yeah.
I think so, definitely. Thank you very much indeed. Great to see you, Rachel. And remember, everybody, put your clothes, old clothes, into the bag and take it to TK Maxx for the cancer charity. It's a great idea. Thank you. Right, we've got to take a very quick break now. Coming up, plenty of drama in this week's soap. Sonia gives up married life for Naomi. Tina's got the lowdown on that, and all the rest of the soap news. We'll see you right after this very quick break. New
Dove Cream Oil Bar. Beautiful skin at any age.
Hello, welcome back. Tina Baker's here with all this week's soap news. Before we talk to Tina, we have to say congratulations to our Kate. Kate Garraway has had a beautiful baby girl. She's going to call her Darcy, and she was born on Friday morning. I think it was just after 8 o'clock, and 8 pounds 3 ounces, which is pretty good, isn't it?
It's a whopper.
It's a whopper.
Even for a turkey, it's a whopper.
It's a whopper. So I'm really pleased. Everything's fine, and they're just.
Fantastic.
And I hope Kate just puts her feet up, relaxes, and doesn't think about work, and just
for a while
completely
watches
involved.
lots of telly.
And little baby Darcy, that's a
It's
lovely
a sweet name,
gorgeous,
isn't it?
gorgeous. Well done, girl. Well
Hey.
done. Yes, excellent. So I need to go out and buy baby things now.
Yes. A
Hurrah.
good excuse, isn't
I know.
it? And Jean, I need a bit of joy because the soaps at the moment, the land of soaps, is full of darkness.
It
And
is.
last night I found it really painful to watch Corrie because Mike
It's hard,
Baldwin's
isn't it?
back,
Yeah.
and it's the start, as we know, of the demise. I think it's so moving because Johnny Briggs has been in that role for nearly 30 years. Soap stars don't stick around that long anymore.
True.
And it's just brilliantly acted, but we've got a clip of the moment that we know what's wrong with him, and this is the moment that they diagnose what's wrong with him.
Oh.
I've had a look at your test results and I've spoken to the neurologist. The decline in your cognitive functions isn't down to the stroke, although the stroke has accelerated it. We think that you have Alzheimer's disease.
You're sure? Do you want a certificate?
Do you know just how they've done his hair slightly dishevelled and the way he was
Yeah.
dressing? I feel that's really poignant
And his
in
eyes,
itself.
his
You
eyes
know,
all
and
over the
the
place,
acting's brilliant. And of course, the impact on the other characters in the street, because Audrey this week decides, she takes stock of her life and decides to sell the salon. And she's going to offer it to Maria, so you can imagine the power suits Maria's going to be buying for that. So it's left to, I mean, because Ashley and Claire are still fighting each other and fighting for baby Josh. There's not a lot of joy. No. But Fizz, we can rely on for a bit of light relief. Now, she decides she wants to do martial arts, but ends up in a Strictly Come ballroom dancing class at the end of the week. And also, Jenny McAlpine, the rumours are that she's signed up to do Celebrity X Factor, which I'm really looking forward to that. You know.
Oh, no, I've had enough.
Oh,
of
no,
them,
you can't have
I've
a mush
had
about
enough
it.
of
I just think it's
celebrity.
really good fun.
What will be next? Celebrity firefighting or something?
Yes,
I don't know. Something
that's in
bonkers
your
like that.
mind only, actually. I can think of that one as well. Over in EastEnders, well, Sonia and naughty nurse Naomi. Now, the incredible sulk that is Martin, her husband, finds them together in a rather compromising position in the naughty naked nude.
Right.
And then, in case we didn't realise what was going on, this is a scene where they spell it out. Let's have a look.
Okay.
Son, we hardly know each other. We do. You've left your husband. You've come to live here. That means we're living together. Sleeping together.
What did I say to you at the tube station? Don't tell me you've forgotten.
No, I haven't forgotten.
Well? What did I say?
You said you loved me.
I don't buy this.
Exactly. Smashing acting, but don't you think it's clunky?
Yes, I do.
We are living together for the heart of
Shoehorned-
thinking.
shoehorned in there is to wear.
It is. Yes, glossing over that, more tragedy for Honey.
All right.
Now, if Billy Mitchell had watched this very show, we revealed the fact that Honey could have died in childbirth. But now her dad knows and breaks the news to Billy.
Okay.
Now, Billy's gutted because it means, you know, is she going to have the baby? What's going to happen? Because Honey's mum died giving birth to her. So, you know, they're allowed to be happy for about 35 seconds in Walford. And the same for Keith and Rosie. He proposed at the end of last week, which was sweet. I was glad. It was a very moving scene. I'm not saying he's got cold feet, but have a look at this. He's got emotional hypothermia. He's found he's a bit allergic to the wedding magazine.
What are you
Isn't
doing?
that brilliant? I love that. They're very popular at the moment. Penguins are the new thing. Black and white's the new black. It's great.
Oh, jeez.
God bless him. Anyway, over in Emmerdale now, and if you don't want a future plot, look away now, because I can reveal that evil Terence is coming back to the Dales. This is Steph's brother.
right.
And not only is he going to devastate her life, he has got the secret that Dr. Adams has been keeping. Let's just say that Dr. Adams' bedside manner isn't exactly what he makes it out to be. Plus a death. I see a death.
Do you?
I do, and I can't reveal any more. Don't push me. Just don't push me.
Are you sure?
And there's a four-legged death as well.
Oh, dear.
Nay, don't tell me. Nay, don't push me. There's a clue in that. You get, you know, charades and everything now. Now, again, people are not allowed to be happy, even in Emmerdale, because Dawn passes her test this week. However, she's then going to go down because she faces a prison jail sentence.
How so?
Because she's been doing benefit frauds. Naughty, naughty Dawn.
Right.
And words I thought I'd never say. We have found you in Emmerdale somebody who's a worse singer than our own Penny Smith.
Surely not.
Yes. Take it away, Louise.
Hopelessly devoted to you.
What do you think?
Perfect.
You're really loud. That's a good thing.
Grease, it suits your range.
Thank you. And people are often telling me I look like a young Olivia Newton-John. Got another song. Do you want to hear that as well?
It's past 10.
I'm saving myself for tonight.
So you can imagine what happens on the karaoke night when she... I mean, she's got a good pair of lungs. Who would have known it would have come out like that? But that's great.
Funny. Very funny.
And I love Bob and Jamie
Are
Hope.
they sweet?
They could be real dad and son,
they were
couldn't they? They're
lovely.
fantastic.
And they dressed up and everything.
I know. We love people
Very,
dressing
very nice.
up.
Tina, thank you very much indeed. I'll see you next week. Thank you. And that's it from me today. Tomorrow, we're going upmarket with our premium range in the High Street Fashion Awards. G4 are going to pop in and do a bit of a turn, I would have thought. Oh, as they're here, you might as well. It'd be nice. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
LK Today, sponsored by New Dove Cream Oil Bar. Beautiful skin at any age.